not sorry.
He didn't say it. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Birds aren't real.
Thank you. That's genuinely why I didn't say anything. I was like, I just expected.
I wasn't sure if I was muted or not.
No, I unmuted you.
I was gonna wait until you unmuted me.
Thank you, Mike, very much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Much appreciated. Oh my God. Welcome back, everybody. We're here.
Where am I? Help.
We're NotGreatRPG. We're here once again for the City of Oshuamp. There's terrifying.
This has such a different tone.
Yeah.
It's also being like messed up through the speaker a little bit.
Makes it better.
Which is making it so much better.
Oh God.
This is a new one? No?
It's not a new one?
I've just manipulated the music.
Oh, yikes.
Is Don muted? I don't think so.
Nice, Don's muted.
Hello?
Hi, everyone.
Hello?
Our plan,
it's paid off.
Hello?
Welcome to the
The
Brand New
muter
Show
becomes the
podcast.
muted.
Everyone.
Mutee.
Huh?
I've just manipulated the music.
I don't wanna mute me.
Nope. Mutiny?
It does sound
So
like he's
he's
muted. He's pretty quiet. I wonder if
Yeah.
it was a different mic picking him up.
His cable.
Maybe. All the
Had so
cables
many
are just
cable
dying
issues.
recently.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's
All
why
right.
he was pointing out earlier that the TV just fucking
Get on
works
the table.
today.
Fix the
Like,
cables.
Didn't do anything to it.
What?
I plugged the cable in the wrong spot.
Good job.
Oh shit! I totally forgot about that bit.
No, it's just from her microphone takes over one of the other channels, and I switched
That's
it
right.
with mine.
Me?
Is he still muted?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
for
adding
the
it.
additional. Yeah.
Right.
Now that you are all here at my stream.
Now I'm unmuted. I was muted. Thank you, Luna. Much appreciated. Because otherwise we would have just gone without that.
Where's Ether?
I mean, you could hear it. It's just quiet.
It's just Ether's just
Thank you,
trapped in a
Mike.
bag somewhere. Like,
Oh, help me. Anyway, we're here once again for the City of Oshuamp. We're going to go around the table real quick, introduce ourselves, and then we'll pick up where we left off last week after a brief recap. So tonight I'm Don, and I'm always Don, but I'll be playing Etherevia, the Grave Domain Cleric. Hey.
Well, I suppose that makes me Lawrence. And it probably means I'm playing Yalum. Probably.
I'm Paul, and I play Felix. This character introduction has been brought to you by Pran's pre-show podcast. Tune in one in every, 30 episodes where I do it for 30 seconds.
That's a good time.
Could have done it today.
God.
I'm not a guest on that podcast. I'm a guest on this one. My name's Glenn, and I play Vorst.
I'm Chell. I play the soft, friendly, and awfully cuddly Daria.
I'm Sarah, and I'm also not a guest on that podcast or this podcast. This is my podcast. Always has been. I play Ritora.
I am banned from the Brand's pre-show podcast, but I am Vorgrim and I play
Brand.
Nest.
I hope we don't have any new listeners.
I feel like if we're getting new people on episode 79, they are courageous to jump in at this stage
And
of
they
the
won't
game.
know who Nesgrim is.
And they'll
Now's
never
the
know who
perfect
Nesgrim
time.
is.
You know, I'm not
I
sure
would, I would
know
argue
who Nesgrim
actually that introduction would help them understand
Yeah, I would-
Nesgrim
You're not wrong.
even better.
Luna did point out not
Their immersion.
Vorgrim.
Yeah, it's...
Vor.
What?
That's
Vor?
fine.
What is happening?
I'm John. I'm the dungeon master for this campaign. Last we picked up, in the aftermath of our terrible betrayal, we performed funeral rites for Melithel, Melicy, and Rirda, constructing a pyre outside, and eventually having a very peaceful and somber funeral affair for them after Ether once again performed his ritual to send off the old happy couple, seeing them again in their younger idyllic states. Then we made a plan. Ether, having finally attained the spell sending, contacted the members of the guild back inside the city of Oshuamp proper, and effectively communicated like, oh fuck, it's bad, like what do we do? And they responded, oh fuck, it is bad, we don't really know. But we are definitely not safe in the city now, and we have to figure out something to do with all of these children. You guys made the recommendation to come out to the Fellwood, either to stay at the cabin, but there are far too many people. So we made adjustments and are going to see whether or not Adelstan's caves are going to be able to house our individuals for safety for any amount of time. After utilizing sending, we had Ritora use Windwalk, as gifted to her by the necklace of prayer beads from Arthur. Good guy.
Great.
Stand up, chap.
Great man. We windwalked, assumed a gaseous form, and after having had several conversations via sending, returned back to the city of Oshuamp through the windows of the tavern at Growlers. Found everybody packing as swiftly as possible. It is the early morning hours of the day because we were able to make the return flight home in only about 15-20 minutes. Everybody's packing stuff up. Corin came back, offered his condolences upon receiving the news of the death of the 2 druids and Rirda. We made the plans to get everybody out as quickly as we can through the terrifying Undercity below Oshuamp, trying to utilize whatever former knowledge we have from other individuals and people inside of the guild, from their times having been in the area. We do know that Hunter's Folly is indeed a passage and exit outside of the underground, but how to get there is up in the air, and we'll have a great time finding it. So we are picking up inside of the tavern as everybody is finishing packing. Corin did, again, inform the group that we received 3 new lovely little orphan children. Little orphan Bran, little orphan Grimdar, little orphan Nina. And the episode concluded with us looking at Grimdar as he stared at a big fucking barrel of ale on the wall. Little orphan Bran tying his boots together, his laces together. And little Nina sat in the corner on a little chair holding a little stuffed bear. That's what we're going to pick up, just in case anybody has anything they want to do in the tavern before we go into the dark, spooky cave for several days.
I'm really thinking about that anchor.
I don't blame you. I'm not going to say you shouldn't.
Did anybody pack any of the
Children.
Yeah.
Get in there!
The ale.
The ailment, the actual,
Yeah.
a leaving ale. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Anything at all?
I'm gonna
I feel like an auctioneer.
go
How much for this chair?
check on the orphans.
The orphans.
The 3 favorite.
All of them.
The orphans.
The 3 favorite.
The accumulated
Yeah.
orphans. You're
No,
going to...
I'm gonna check on Bran and Grimdar.
I was going to check on a dwarf.
Okay,
Because
yes.
the last time we saw them, Grimdar was not having a great time.
No, he was trying to play hide and seek and he sucked.
Yeah.
He is standing at the end of the bar looking at like a large barrel of ale where it's kind of, again, because it is Pippin's House Ale. He's just staring at that on the wall, and Bran is still, on all fours right in front of him, making sure he's got like 7 knots in his boot laces. And then, Lil Nina's just sitting, in classic horror film-esque little chair, like little stool in the corner,
Oh, God.
in the dark, just holding a bear, staring out at everyone, silently, unflinchingly, not blinking.
I would like to whisper quietly,
To whom?
just out loud, to whoever's nearby, really. Mostly to myself, I guess. We gotta get rid of that bear.
Did we?
I feel like in-game we established that there's something fucky about the bear.
You established that it's a bear, and it was possibly weird.
I was gonna
Something's
ask-
fucky about that bear.
Something might be fucky about the bear. As the reminder, you made the connective assumption that Benjamin had a bear. She recently came into a bear. Well, possession of a bear. And,
Possession?
she's got a bear and Benjamin doesn't. And she definitely said, got it from a little boy.
What do we know about Nina?
Little orphan Nina? Very little.
Very little. Okay.
Very little.
So
Just the way she
I-
looks.
We know that she's celestial.
You do know that she's celestial
Okay.
because you did divine sense in her presence before previously.
I remember that.
Yep.
Can I approach the little girl?
Absolutely.
Adorable.
Just kneel down in front of her and just put my hand out, little handshake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She would pull the bear closer to her chest, like tuck it under her elbow and take her other little hand and stretch it out and shake your hand and just kind of stare. Would you have your veil over your face or no? She would just kind of stare at the veil.
Okay. Cute little friend you have.
You're pretty.
Thank you. You're a very cute little girl.
Thank you.
What's your bear's name?
Bear-me.
Perfect name for a bear.
It is. It's got bear in it.
Where did you meet?
It returns to haunt me.
You thought you were rid of this.
Oh, I thought we got rid of Bearamy.
Now you gotta get rid of him again.
Oh.
How did you meet Barry?
A little boy gave him to me.
That was nice of him. How did you meet the little boy?
He was outside.
Of the orphanage?
No. The big building.
What big building?
The one in the middle.
Oh, God.
The middle building.
Do you go to the middle building often?
Nah. They took me to the middle building. I didn't get to, pick to go.
Who took you?
I don't know. Some old guy.
Some old guy? Was he nice?
Yeah. He had a bunch of nice things to say about me, too.
Like what?
I'm special. I can see things. I can be things.
What color are her eyes?
If I remember correctly, they're like a honey-colored, amber.
Okay.
Is this the same Nina?
Yeah, absolutely. Black hair, amber-colored eyes.
I can confirm.
He sounds like a smart man. I see the same things in you, little girl.
Thanks.
Are these your friends?
Oh, they're dumb.
That doesn't mean they're not your friends.
It doesn't?
No, I've had friends that varied in intelligence.
That's fair. The one's really dumb, though. Dangerous. Look at it. Mouth ajar.
How many flies has he caught? Caught.
Probably 4.
Oh my god. Maybe he's just special in a way we don't know yet.
It's gone.
No, we know how he is. He's... I guess that's fair. He does his best. It's not very good, though.
At least he tries.
Mm-hmm.
So the bear,
Mm-hmm.
is he also special?
Mm-hmm. The little boy said he'll keep me safe.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be kept safe. It's a very dangerous world out there.
Yeah. So I got the bear.
Does he talk to you?
Of course.
What does he say?
You're the best, Nino.
I just kind of boop the bear on the head.
What?
Don't touch me!
Ooh, it's a feisty bear.
Well, he doesn't know your name.
Oh, and I put my hand out for the bear.
She absolutely pulled the little elbow of the bear and prostrates the bear's hand.
Bear me, it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm Thario.
You're very pretty.
You were very handsome.
I do my best.
It is Nina talking, right? And not the bear.
Sheriff pulls out a cigarette. You want to get out of here?
Oh my
Does he
god.
have a
Yeah, it's Nina talking.
Does he have a Russian accent?
Thank you for the resub Volt picks. I hope you're doing well. Thank you.
It's funny that you say that I'm pretty. I haven't gotten that compliment in a very long time. Have you seen other people like me before?
Never in my life. Not in my life.
Try and such a... What's she hiding?
What does that mean? me.
Nice distinction.
In a dream, in a nightmare,
You can absolutely roll an insight check.
In a
to that.
previous life.
Yeah,
in
not this
another
one.
plane.
Not this one.
Another one. A parallel one.
Well, that's a 3.
Anything you say.
Wait.
Yeah, you're a cleric. You should have pretty solid wisdom.
Where's the stealth check?
There wasn't one.
Just hold her by the face and look at her.
Tell me.
It is a plus.
You have a tablet in front of you.
I am not logged in there.
She had it open like 15 minutes ago.
That's 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell
Good
you
friends.
that she definitely seems. I don't want to use the word like suspicious. She seems like aloof.
Okay.
Like she seems like any sense of awareness that she might have, she is almost disinterested in it. Like just a very blasé kind of like, yeah, things are how they are.
Yeah. What did you do at the orphanage?
Went to Sister Madeline's? What did I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of just watched over Grimdar. He needs all the eyes on him that you can get.
Did you play with the other children? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. Are you friends with the other one?
He sometimes gets on my nerves, less than other times. He's pretty much always getting on my nerves. He takes stuff that's not his.
That's not very nice.
It's not very nice, and I try to tell him that. But he says he needs it, so, you know.
I need it more.
It is quite literally exactly that.
It's really easy.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like hang out and like, I guess just mundane chit chat with the little girl.
Sure, absolutely. Anyone else like to do anything at all?
Would like to look very closely at the bear's eyes.
At the bear's eyes. So
Correct.
again, the bear is missing one eye.
Yes.
The one button is kind of still like decently stitched in, but it is a simple black button.
I would like to pay special attention to the distended eye.
Yeah,
Because-
absolutely. So I mean, it just kind of like as she moves it, it like wobbles around on the little piece of stitching, and you can make a perception check or an investigation check if you're trying to ascertain anything in particular.
I'm trying to make sure it doesn't look like bloodstone.
Sure, absolutely. Making
That's-
sure that it is just a clean, simple button.
Right, and not like a black stone or a
You got it, buddy.
bloodstone or anything
Mhm.
that
Smoothly
may
polished.
later.
You gotta be fucking joking.
That one.
Yeah, it's in that one.
Yo, dude, that's a nice button.
Oh.
I will tell you, like, you are looking very closely at it, but I mean, I'll tell you that, like,
I look good.
you have a solid assumption that, like, it's probably just a button. It feels like the girl's weird. And if there's magic here, it's probably not in the button that's barely hanging on.
What color is the bear?
The bear is like a light tannish. It's pretty dirty because it's kind of old.
Okay.
Like, it's got some, like little rips in it where it looks like it's been stitched back together, like at the like seams of the like armpit, and like the one hand looks like it's kind of like lumped where it looks like a lot of the stuffing is like kind of pulled towards the front.
So he's not wearing a striped sweater with overalls and like bright red hair.
No. Completely nude bear.
So
Yeah, this is not
Only
one
one
way.
It's definitely not
while
Chucky.
I'm
We're
chit
good.
chatting, trying to like make friends with the little girl, I would just like keep my hands tucked into my cloak.
Yeah.
If I could just like break off just the tiniest little bit of my fingernail,
Yeah.
and just like, can I
Why?
see the bear? Can I hold him? He seems very friendly.
You want to hold bear me?
Yeah, if
Be
he
careful, it
allows
might
me.
bite.
Oh, gotta be careful, the biters.
Mm-hmm.
Just like very like lightly like tuck it into the like the fabric of.
Sure. In one of the spots where it's re-stitched,
Yeah.
and there looks like there would be a little gap for you to insert. Yeah, absolutely. Make a sleight of hand check.
I don't know which dice to use. This is so scary. Don't fuck me over. Fuck. All right. Sleight of hand.
Mm-hmm.
What? I'm not. It's literally
I wasn't gonna say
if
anything.
only I had
that time.
something bigger in front of my face. That's a 9.
A 9, you say?
A 9.
Yeah, man. You remember she was a monk. She's got that solid pee-pee. Yeah, I mean, she
You're
would,
right, man.
like, kind of tilt her head in the same way that, like, a dog does when curious. You could have asked.
So, where I grew up, it was rude to offer protection for people that we cared about. It was more of a generous offering to do it subtly. I'm sorry if I hurt you or Jeremy's feelings. I was hoping that by me doing that, I
How
would
have you
help.
done that?
Sorry.
God.
I can stop. I'll
Now
take...
his magic's broken.
No, his magic's not broken.
It is.
How do you know?
Because I can feel it. Oh, there's something else in him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't want the bear.
I feel obligated to walk towards them and look, the same thing with what's his name, Benjamin, slowly push her away.
It's not going to work now.
What won't work?
The protection from the bear. Now I'm going to die.
Way to go! You just killed a little girl. You madman! Told you we should leave the bear alone.
Yeah, I just fucking.
I'll just Mystic Hand the bear out of because you're still holding it, right?
Yeah.
I'll just take it from you and slowly float it back over to her.
Oh, thanks.
Just nod.
I was really getting somewhere with this
She
kid.
just like grins. Just pats bear me.
Just gonna look at Thariel and just shrug.
I don't fucking know anymore, man. Oh, I need to smoke. God damn it.
Oh,
These
my
kids, I
God.
tell you.
Tough ground, am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, while that's going on, I'd probably head downstairs into my old room and grab a couple of things that I have just laying around, some sand and shit like that.
Absolutely. You had wanted to check in on the children.
I'm gonna
How
check
would
in
you
on-
be checking in on little orphan Bran and Grimdar while that's happening?
I'm gonna walk up and stand there like an awkward teenager that doesn't know what to say because that's who Ether
Like
is
your
as a
rags.
person. Yeah, Ether's just gonna walk up to them. Hello.
Grimdar just kind of like, hi.
Are you doing all right?
Uh-huh.
Did Bran find you?
Yeah. It was dark. Quiet.
Where did you hide?
I tried to get into the big pot in the kitchen. But it was high up and I'm short. But Bran gave me a stool so I could climb in. And then I did. And he said, okay, I'll look for you in a minute. And then 2 days went by. I'm really good at hiding.
Yes. Very talented, yes.
And then they poured oats on me. I was hungry, so it was nice.
It was good, yes.
I ate all the oats. They were dry. Like a rough sack. Dry oats like an actual horse inside of a cauldron.
He's a growing boy.
I really would have done the
They're
same
closer
thing.
to rocks that way.
Yep.
I really would have done that. So that's really accurate. Oh God.
And then they pulled me out of the cauldron, and then I drank a lot of milk for the oats.
Did you sleep after that?
Oh yeah, I slept for like 2 days. And then Bran found me in
So-
bed.
So 4 days.
4 days.
You hid successfully.
Mm-hmm.
That is very good.
Really good at hiding.
Yes. Have you found anything else strange?
Besides the oats?
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Are oats strange?
Not really, no.
Okay. That's good.
Yes.
Nothing weird.
No. Okay. I'm just gonna.
I'm upset. We've entered a strange vortex. What did Bran do after he finished tying those boots together?
Oh, after that, he would have absolutely hid underneath the shelves of the bar and just watched the interaction between Nina and Thariel, just literally laughing. Slowly, building from, a little giggly chuckle to just, outright, gleeful, mirthful laughter. Just so fucking stupid. It's just a bear.
I want to go sit down next to where Bran is.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to...
Hey, you owe me gold.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, you kept Grimdar safe.
Yeah. I put him in a pot. Where else is safer?
It's a good plan. It's a really good plan.
He was safe for 4 days.
Exactly.
That's
Better
4
than the
gold.
basement.
Right? That's what I thought.
How much did we agree upon?
4 gold.
4?
Yeah.
4. Sure. Let me... And I'll reach into my breastplate and up near my collar I'll pull out a pouch of gold and I'll open it and I'll pull out 4 and I'll pass it to him.
Thank you. Good deal.
Yeah. We're about to go somewhere quite dangerous.
Okay.
And it would probably be good if none of your friends went missing.
Sure.
Can you make sure that they stay with everyone else?
Yeah, that's easy.
And I'll jingle the rest of this pouch of gold.
How much is in the pouch?
There's 6 more in here. And I'm going to pull out my Eyes of the Eagle. And I'm going to hand them to him.
I was enjoying that.
The magic.
Oh, I know magic when I see magic. These are good.
They're yours.
Right now?
Right now.
I'll use them to keep all the other kids safe.
And yourself.
Yeah, I'll never die.
And when we get to the other side, all of us,
Uh-huh.
the rest of this pouch of gold, and perhaps a little bit more.
That's a deal. Easy enough.
I'm going to reach out to shake his hand.
He goggles over, his eyes absolutely reaches out, shakes your hands.
Adorable.
And then I will
He's a little spelunker.
tuck that pouch of gold back where it was. Good.
Yeah, good deal. You're a nice guy.
I feel much better with you on the job.
I'm gonna make sure that we're all safe with these.
Good.
Anyone else?
I would have also pulled out one of the many bones in my possession and handed it to Grimdar.
What kind of bone?
Not a skull. I would have, but I don't have any. Where
His
I
name's
would've.
Dork.
Yeah, or I would have. I believe it was like an arm bone, like it was like a halfling arm bone or something originally.
In my bag.
Or it was a dwarven arm bone.
We couldn't leave with it.
So I would
Oh,
pull
really?
out a smallish, like comparably sized
Sure.
arm bone.
Yeah. Do you say anything as you give it to him, or do you just jam it in front of him?
No, I hand it to him and say,
I got you.
I found this and thought you might like it to make music.
Bone music?
Yes.
He just takes the bone.
You can tap it on things, or you throw it around and play catch.
Bonk. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna bonk you in the forehead.
Yes, make as much noise in the caves as possible.
Okay. I like
Here's a
this.
trumpet.
It's like a drumstick.
Yes,
Drumsticks.
exactly. But you keep that safe and practice
Practice. Yes.
catching it.
Ah.
And then you have to catch it.
You're right. I can use my bing bongs. He just kind of picks it back up. I have a great idea. Snap! Oh, there's two.
Yes.
He starts rattling on the bar top. Just like, this is great music, thank you.
You are very
I'm
welcome.
gonna become a musician now forever.
Okay.
Only ever a musician. New purpose in life.
Lord Grimdark.
Okay.
New class unlocked.
I'm just gonna just pat him on the head.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Grim Bard.
Next time I'm in a pot, I can play the pot.
Yes.
time I'm in a
Exactly.
This is a great gift. Thank you. You're nice for an elf.
Thank you. I try to be.
A weird elf, though.
Yes, I have heard that before from many people.
Uh-huh.
Very odd.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think I am strange? Out of curiosity.
'Cause your skin. It's like got a shadow around it.
Oh. Someone did call me a shadow elf before.
Oh. That makes sense.
Yes.
You got like a shadow on you.
You can see that?
Uh-huh.
Can you see other things?
I can see your face.
On other people. Are there other people with this shadow?
Not like yours. There's shadows on the ground.
Okay. You have never seen this before?
Nope.
Okay.
Makes sense. Shadow elf. Is that your name?
No, my name is Ether.
Oh.
Yes.
Does that like mean shadow elf?
No.
What's it mean?
Ether Revia means wanderer by a river.
Oh. Oh. So you're a ship guy.
Kind of. My uncle was. Yes.
We came here on a ship.
Did you?
Yeah.
What kind of ship?
Big ship. Sails.
But there is no water near here.
Uh-huh.
Did you take a carriage after or just a ship?
Just a ship.
Who was on this ship?
Me. Nina. Bran. I don't remember anyone else. There was one person, but I don't know him. Some kind of elf.
What did he look like? Was he tall? Was he short?
Kinda tall. Yeah.
What color were his eyes?
Oh. Couldn't really see.
That is
Very
okay.
dark.
It was dark.
Yes.
Was it cold?
No. It's hot.
Very hot?
Yes.
Was there fire?
No.
Okay.
Water.
But just hot water.
Yes.
Okay.
And then bright, but not sun, like stars in water.
Okay.
And man said he would take us home.
And then you came here?
Yes.
Do you remember where you came from?
No. Just remember being on the boat.
Okay.
Like I woke up on a boat.
Okay. Iris told us the name of False Gate, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember the name False Gate?
I think so, yeah. We got picked up from there.
Okay. Do you remember anyone that you were with before you left? Or do you only remember waking up on the ship?
Just the ship?
Okay. Did you see anything in the water other than the stars?
Oh. The man told me not to look. He said I'd never see anything like it again.
Okay.
Oh, that's not right. He said I'd never see again.
Probably very bright, I would imagine, from the stars, maybe?
Maybe. I pulled my bandana over my eyes.
Okay.
This way I couldn't see. And then I forgot I did that and thought I went blind. And Rand said I did, so I was very scared.
I believe that. Did you smell or hear anything?
Sounded like rain.
Okay.
Smelled like water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grimdar.
Salty water.
Like sea water?
Seawater.
Okay.
Yes. And then... big... wind? And then... felt like... only water. And then... air. Man said hold breath.
Okay.
Then I was very wet.
That is very strange.
Uh-huh. And then cold, 'cause snow.
Yes, it is very cold here.
Blizzards.
Yes. There are many of those.
Uh-huh. Do you have any beer?
I do not. I can try to get you some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Do you mind if I fix your shoes?
My shoes?
Yes, your shoelaces.
Oh, I tied them wrong.
Yes.
Thank you.
You are welcome, and I'm gonna attempt to undo the
Yeah,
maze.
it would take you a moment because he did genuinely tie
Yeah.
them in like 8 knots, but absolutely you'd be able to do it eventually.
Yeah, and I'll tie them back together
Mm-hmm.
so he can't walk.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would tie them correctly.
Very good.
And then I would go find Luna and ask if there's something I can give Grimdar.
You want to give the kid beer?
I did not say beer, I said something.
It's a dwarf.
Yes,
He wants beer.
yes. But
Give
he
him
is-
beer.
But you just said not to give him beer.
I didn't say not to. I said you want to give him?
He is a dwarf.
Yeah, so give him.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. God, you're so awkward.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Okay.
Just take beer
Okay.
and then give it to him.
Yes, of course.
There's 2 steps.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm gonna get beer and give it to Grimdar.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. He just kind of like takes the tankard from you and just looks at it. Smells nice. Smells
Yes.
familiar.
Thank you.
Just one.
Okay. I'll get him one more.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
I killed a troll once.
Okay. When was this?
I don't know.
You just
Is he swaying?
you just remember killing a troll?
It's not about the sway. It makes me remember the boat.
Okay.
And then the trolls. I hit them with my hammer.
Okay.
And then they hit me with their hammers, and I didn't like that.
It does not sound fun. No.
No, getting hit with hammer hurts.
Yes.
That's why I do it.
Yes. Good. That is very good.
Reach into his pouch on his hip and pull out a little toy wooden hammer. You fight?
Sometimes, yes.
I'm a fighter. He like gruffly swings out at you, really short, like
Yeah.
doesn't actually come close.
Oh,
you're
you just
fast.
Smite him.
You got me.
I did.
Yes.
I'm the champion.
Good job, Grimdar.
Yeah. Can you bless my hammer?
Yes. Well, I'll cast light on his hammer.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
This will keep me safe in the caves.
Yes, just stay with your friends, with Bran and Nina
Okay.
and the other kids.
Okay.
But you can help keep them safe, yes.
He absolutely
Yep.
nods off.
Yep. I want to just make sure that when we are leaving that he is with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they would leave him behind, but I've got to make sure. He might leave himself behind, but I'm going to just keep an eye on little Grimdar. And then I'm just going to help like pack stuff and get everything together.
Anyone else?
I imagine after we'd had time to pack and everything, we would like gather and get ready to go. And then while we were all standing there, I think I would like to be toward the front.
I think we'll be rotating out quite a bit.
Oh, that's right. We did talk about that. I forgot we did that. Never mind.
Sure you can handle it?
I either will or I won't.
Ideally, you do.
It's noble either way.
Fair enough.
Let's go see the kids.
DJ, what's your passive perception?
Brain, you little shit. 16.
16. I mean, you would feel as you are like helping people pack, you would feel the slight tugging at the edge of your like cloak.
Quickly look down. Who is it?
That's little Bran.
Oh,
You're shinier.
you're duller.
Boom, roasted. Bad move.
Jeez, man.
No, just kidding, Bran. Can I help you with something?
Yeah, it's a stick up. And he's gonna pull out a little stick.
What do you want?
Smite it.
No, it's a stick.
It is a stick.
It's up.
Smite it.
Yeah.
It is indeed up.
I'm working on a new trick to try to use on Grimdar.
Branding smite.
What trick are you working on?
Well, you were gonna give me stuff, so I feel like it's gonna work on Grimdar. He sheathes the stick.
Can I can help you a little bit with that.
Yeah? How's that?
Hold out the stick again.
Yeah. Pulls the stick out.
I'm gonna cast Booming Blade on his stick.
Oh my god.
Or no, I don't have to make an attack with that, do I?
Yeah.
I think you do.
I think you are the
It's
one
a
who has
melee
to.
attack to cast a spell.
Burnish and make a... Yeah, damn it.
Just hit him.
I'm just gonna hit him.
You're welcome.
Branding smite.
I'll just cast
Branding.
light on it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks scarier now. I like that. Thank you.
No problem.
Just a stick up. Alright. It's gonna work. Feeling really good about going to this cave.
So, you didn't take anything from me, did you?
Not yet.
I wouldn't recommend it,
Why?
because whatever I have, I can use better than you.
Are you sure?
I'm just gonna hand him my... I'm just gonna hand him my Warhammer, which weighs like, 30, 40 pounds.
No, it does not.
It doesn't.
It weighs like 7.
Uh-oh.
I will hand him the heaviest weapon I have.
Just give him the shield.
Give me a two-hand weapon.
Now I can kill Grimdar.
All right, hang on, let me see.
This is a stick up.
Give him your sword.
What's my no?
I mean, long swords only
2
weigh like
pounds.
4 pounds.
I'm gonna hand him weirdly the
Bag of rocks.
heaviest thing is the heavy
Rob you.
crossbow. So I'm just gonna hand him the heavy crossbow.
Oh hell yeah!
What can go wrong?
It's not loaded, and 18 pounds.
18 pounds. Yeah, I mean, he just kind of like, ooh. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty heavy. Thanks, though.
Why you can't have it?
You just gave it to me.
I did not to keep, friend.
You didn't say that.
No, it was
Now you're gonna take this gift back?
correct. I'm just gonna
He's
reach.
just gonna look out like crocodile tears at the edge of
I'm gonna approach Bran and Nesgrim and then do the same thing and slowly separate Nesgrim from Bran.
I'm
And
gonna
just
take
give
my
Nesgrim a
crossbow
look.
back real
He
quick.
gave me a crossbow and now he said I can't have it.
I didn't give him.
I'm just gonna point at him
I
and
didn't.
point at the crossbow.
I didn't give him the crossbow. I let him hold it, and he
He
thought.
said I could use it better than him.
I said I could use it better than
No,
him.
you didn't.
I'm just gonna take that.
Perhaps he could borrow the crossbow.
I don't even want it. He's gonna throw it on the bed.
Good thing I said it wasn't loaded.
What's your best perception?
Now that you're looking at me,
16. Yeah, I mean, you kneel down and pick up the heavy crossbow on the ground. And Bran walks away.
What did he take? He got something.
It's fine.
Oh no.
I can't wait for the moment that you go to use something and
What's the
John's
worst thing
like,
in your
I'm sorry,
inventory?"
you don't have that.
Pull up D&D Beyond.
I think he probably took all of the crossbows.
All
Like
the
arrows.
All the bolts.
So yeah, oh fuck!
The worst thing he might be able to get is the Ostador reliquary.
He would take the thing that he thinks is the most valuable.
It's in like
Which would be the Ostador reliquary.
and only one
Oh.
that is my actual
We got a second one.
He didn't get my sword, so like.
That's where you're aware.
Nope, you have no idea. I rolled an 18 on the die.
Damn it.
Yeah, he still has expertise in
Fair enough.
stealth or in sleight of hand, so.
You're goddamn right he does.
I'm gonna walk up to Bran.
Yeah. He's just walking away. He's absolutely like already done fake crying. He's just giggling.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, Bran.
What?
Do you have ball
Nope.
bearings?
Nope.
No.
Do you want them?
Yes.
How many?
How many do you have?
I mean, I have like 4 bags on me, and then more
But not here.
on me.
Yes.
4,
Okay.
and then more.
Does he have a treasure stash somewhere?
Yes.
Branch the dragon.
He was the dragon. I was just going to say he's the dragon all along.
I would like to trade you 1 bag of your ball bearings
Mm-hmm.
for, and I'm gonna pull out a little vial and put some of the chili spice in it, the dwarven chili spice
Mm-hmm.
in it. For this, you could put it in Grimdar's food.
Is it like poison?
It is
He's
spicy.
resistant to poison.
No, it is spicy.
Spicy?
Yes, like very hot.
Oh, so he'll shit himself. That's great. I love that. I will make sure he's in his armor. You're a genius. Pull out a little bag of ball bearings.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude, no problem.
Bartering with a child. A delinquent child.
And we're fueling it.
It's great!
He just instantly pockets it and it's gone.
When we are in the tunnels,
Yeah.
if you see these on the ground, please make sure that no one picks them up. I'm going to put them down so that way.
Oh,
if
you're
we-
marking.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't you want to use something better than ball bearings?
Do you have something else in mind?
Absolutely.
What do you have in mind?
I mean, it's something that you'll be able to use at least on walls. Ball bearings, underground rumbles a lot. There's earthquakes. Ball bearings are going to slide away.
Okay.
You should do this. Don't you adventure?
Not in caves frequently, no.
Wait,
Mostly,
have we experienced any earthquakes?
above ground.
Just gonna take them back.
In the snow.
Oh, you go outside. Oh, yeah, that's why ball bearings wouldn't work. They would sink.
Yes.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, no. Do you want something better?
Sure.
Okay, what else do you have?
I have these ball bearings.
I've got at least 7 bags.
and more.
Yeah. You just see him like out of the corner of his eye, like look at the little vial again at the like chili powder and just kind of top it back and forth. It's good stuff.
Swindled by a kid.
I got
Yes, they are.
pickpocketed by a
It's his
kid.
job.
He was not a good child.
I still don't know what he took.
I'm gonna pull out a piton.
Okay.
You could wedge this under Grimdar's door and trap him inside.
Think I don't know what pitons are?
Okay.
Okay.
I just thought it would be
I
fun.
have pitons.
Okay. What
You
about,
gotta give me something here that I can't get.
I
I
do
can't
not have.
get dwarven spices.
wants drugs. Oh no.
I have bones.
I can get bones.
What?
Does the room like kind of like pause for?
Record scratch.
No. Everybody's just business as usual.
What about dwarven bones?
I love dwarven bones.
Okay.
I'm in the market for dwarven bones all the time.
Okay.
What kind of bones you got?
I have dwarven finger bones.
Okay.
I have.
It's not fair that you get to do it to him as me.
Right. Did you get anything else in wherever you went with this dwarven stuff? Like any cool dwarf things?
Not particularly, no. I'm sorry.
You know, Grimnar loves food, right? That's why I'm going to do this spice thing.
Yes. I think he likes. I had given him a bone.
You gave Grimnar a bone?
Yes.
A dwarf bone?
Yes.
You gave him like an ancestor's bone?
No. There's a random bone, a random dwarven bone that I had found. It was not from Felfarthen.
How do you know it's not his ancestor?
I suppose it could be.
I like that. That's a good idea. Okay, so dwarven bones.
How
I
about
can say they're of Grimdar's ancestors.
yes? How about finger bones?
Sure. How many finger bones you got?
3 fingers worth of bones.
Sure. I'll take 3 finger bones.
Okay. What are we trading?
What do you mean?
You said you had an idea for something better.
Not an idea. I have a thing that's better than ball bearings for marking your terrain.
What is the thing?
It's chalk.
Okay.
So you pull out a stick of chalk.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Nice. Thanks. Here, you can grind up bones to make chalk.
I'll just reach out and shake his hand.
Shake your hand.
Thank you.
You shake him with the hand that has the chalk in it?
No, it's in my mouth.
Are you
I actively
sure?
reached out and grabbed with his hand.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm doing business with you.
Thank you.
If you need more chalk, just come back to me with obviously more bones.
Okay, thank you.
And demand for chalk has recently gone up, so it'll probably be like 5 bones next time.
Okay.
You have
Thank
a good day.
Closes up a shop.
Yep, absolutely. Folds in his cloak and
I'm
disappears.
glad he's such a hustler.
Right? He works hard, dude.
Yeah, Chad makes a good point. How old are these children?
They appear to be about 7 years old. 6 to 7 years old.
Babies.
Yep.
I don't know. I worked with 7-year-olds before. They're
Yep.
something.
Uh-huh.
Now that I'm no longer with Nina, what is she up to?
Since you would have stepped away, she would have genuinely watched you leave, and then, depending on what you were doing, like if you were just trying to be like nonchalant and just like every once in a while like toss her a glance to see what she's doing,
Yeah.
she would absolutely still be staring at you.
Like, any expression or just like blank slate?
Pretty blank.
All right. Okay.
Anyone else do anything?
I'm just gonna continue to help
Pack up.
I'm gonna-
You've just been watching all these shenanigans with kids going on.
Definitely
like,
just watch Ether get
yeah.
ripped off.
I'm gonna help the adults in the room do all the adult things that
good
need to
idea.
get done.
Anyone else? Anything?
I would gather more rope.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
sure there's rope somewhere
Yes,
around.
there's again, they are bringing all kinds of adventuring supplies that they have accumulated and whatnot. So I mean, you've got, I'll say, like 3 more bundles of rope if you would like.
Sick.
Yep.
Because I used all my rope.
Sure. Anyone else? Anything at all? No more bartering. You
I
don't need anything.
don't have much to offer.
Wait a second. That's fair.
I can't think of anything right now.
That's fine.
He's coming with us, so
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can't bring everything with him.
Yeah, you can.
take the bag of holding.
He has a bag of holding.
You don't know that.
At least one.
And more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I will say then you hit a point where obviously everything has been collected and bagged up and loaded onto, effectively wagons, that look like they're more like wheelbarrows. Just because, again, they would want to try to push. Especially with not being able to bring any actual beasts of burden, so they would want to have it be manageable. But there's a bunch of shit that needs to get brought. You guys need food and belongings for 30-ish people, approximately, for several days. Everything gets packed up, and then Luna would be the one, as all the other adults are getting ushered down through the other door behind in the kitchen into the basement. Leads you down to a very dank cellar that descends approximately 30 feet, and at the bottom of it there is an old well.
Well.
Get out. I'm gonna smack him.
Yeah, that's how you get in.
Who am I talking to here?
Luna.
Okay. All right.
There's a rope.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go down.
It's like a rope ladder. It's not just like a singular rope. Like there
Just
is a
slide
rope.
down.
Yes, exactly.
That's what I was gonna
Rope
guess.
burn.
It's a rope ladder that descends approximately 90 feet. Like it's a decent depth.
I'll go down. Make sure it's safe first.
There's all kinds of other people down there already.
Oh, all right.
Most of the other people
Well,
have gone.
let's fucking go then.
Yeah, they live down there.
That's where the kids are
Yeah,
already, right?
that's where the kids live. They live in the well.
I wasn't sure. I wanted to be. Leave me alone.
Gladly. Oh my god.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I would assume everybody would descend the rope ladder through the well into this subterranean layer.
Like to go down before Bran.
Very good. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everybody makes their way. Forrest, you would know of this area, but you've not been down here previously. I will tell you that the rope ladder descends about 90 feet, and then you land pretty solidly at a location that funnels out into what would feel like a foyer, like a mouth of a cave style, though, where it is, you land on solid ground, you are surrounded on, out of a 360 degrees, you are surrounded at like 320 degrees worth of immediate natural cavernous rock around you. And then it would be a tunnel that descends downwards at a pretty steep angle. Obviously indicating that you guys are going even further below what this well descends down to. Luna would lead and take everybody down. It would be another 2-3 minutes worth of walking. You guys would descend approximately 400 feet below the surface until you eventually conclude, after the steep angle on the ramp, out into a pretty wide cavernous area. The stone itself is kind of awkward to describe. It is metamorphic rock, so it's got kind of like a gritty, grainy texture to it. Obviously, it's not this color. This is just the color that comes with the tiles. It is black, gray, and blue. and it would feel like it has almost ribbons running through it. If you were to look closely at the surface, it would look like it has natural kind of like porous grains from areas where metamorphic rock like pushes together slowly over time. So it would feel very ridged, almost like waves. The stone itself in some areas absolutely has a sheen, like a shimmer to it. It would look almost like if you were looking at an oil slick outside in the water, where it's got that like kind of iridescent like shimmer to it.
Obsidian, John?
No, it's metamorphic rock.
Is there City of Metamorphic Rock, John?
No, it's an igneous rock.
That's what I said.
Yeah, so obviously it would open up into this, where you guys would be flush out coming down from, would be in the area to the right of the two houses. You can see, obviously there's two houses on the map, because I didn't feel like setting up. It's actually about 15 tents, where it is ramshackle buildings, so pretty much what they've done, obviously this looked like it belonged previously to a little part of the city, where there were homes. The homes are simple stone constructions, and they have makeshift made canvas-style tent coverings over the top to make sure that, as you guys now, after being down here for a moment, you hear the slow, consistent trickling of water, as obviously a very snowy area is going to have an ample amount of water above that is going to seep through. You can see long, spiraling stalactites hanging from the ceiling. Coming down, now that you're looking at it, the ceiling is approximately 120 feet in height. The stalactites loom low, about 20-25 feet in length. They are massive, indicating that this cavern has been in formation for a long fucking time. But about 12 to 15 of these small ramshackle buildings, you can see that all the children are pretty much huddled around. You see a gathering of many adults that you do know. You see Corin, Catherine, Carolyn. You would see Hunter, Serafina, Christian, Iris, Faye, Luna, Grace. So many fucking people. You would see Serenity, which is Nivara, but in her true tiefling form. And yeah, the only two people that you would see that look obviously like they are adults that you are not familiar with is another gray tiefling woman with gray horns, like white, like it would look kind of like a lab coat, but it would look like it is made of leather with almost like sheep's fur lining the height. Tall, gray horns. And then you would see another woman who is blonde hair, blue eyes, clearly in nice plate mail with a long sword at her side. She looks like she is currently playing with like 4 or 5 of the children.
I would like to ready an action for however many turns it takes to cast Detect Thoughts on her whenever he opens his mouth.
Can you run through the lists
Of adults
of
again?
adults one more time?
Luna, Faye, Grace, Iris, Serenity, which is Nivara, Christian, Hunter, Corin, Carolyn, Catherine, Serafina, and 2 unnamed individuals.
0 parakeets.
0 parakeets.
Can you picture me a parakeet?
And then, oh god, I think it's 14 kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14 kids. Oh, I was not far off when I estimated approximately 30 people last time.
About to be 15 kids.
What?
And those kids include...
You know Maribel, Lil Grimdar, Lil Nina, Lil Bran.
Okay, they're included. then.
You have seen Vara, who is the one who constructed Silver Leggies. You would see 2 other girls who are similar stature, similar appearing, also young gray tiefling girls, so it would look like it's a set of 3 kids. You know Maribel. You would see another little girl, looks to be roughly about 5 or 6 years old. She is currently standing next to Nina, and this little girl is just got like short, kind of like Shirley Temple curlish hair, curly-ish hair, but like a light brown. She's got gray eyes. You guys don't know this girl, but I mean, Corin would absolutely immediately be like, hey, this is Abigail. This is the girl I rescued last year. And then several tiefling kids, and then, yeah, now we get to the fucking weird kids, which is crazy because there've not really been any other tieflings in the world. You would see your first in the campaign while we've been playing Dragonborn.
Hey!
You would see an Emerald Dragonborn. They look like they're about 10 to 12 years old. In pretty simple, like, you know, obviously leather garb, a little tunic, you know, pretty androgynous looking and androgynous clothing. And they have gray eyes. You would see, which, I mean, for everybody outside of possibly Nesgrim would be pretty fucking wild. You would see an Owlin. So you would see a humanoid person. They look like they're about 5 years old, where it is, looks genuinely like a snowy fucking owl. So like a white owl with the brown, golden, and brown spots on the wings, like nice sharp pointed beak, and big golden eyes. You would see your first Harengon, which is the official name for the rabbit folk. They look like they're about 10 years old, lanky, tall, like long fucking rabbit legs, big feet, no shoes, big honey eyes, and bad, what would look like, obviously because it's a furry creature, for you guys with pets, whenever you have for an animal where it's got scarring, you would definitely see the indentations for the absence of fur. It would look like it runs down like spirals over the left arm and up over the left side of the face around like the cheek/chin. And then you would see a Ganassi. An Earth Ganassi. What? So an Earth Ganassi would have gradient brownish tan skin, kind of looks like it swirls a little bit with marbling for where the gradient connects, bright green eyes. And then we did meet a Goliath once, very briefly. We would see a teenage Goliath boy with dull gray skin, kind of similar to what Buck had when we briefly met Buck. And he would have, over both of his arms, winding tattoos that would look very similar to, if you were to think of like tribal vine tattoos. So where we've got like ivy on the walls, you would see that they definitely have the small like sproutings of little petals outside of the vines. On both arms, his pants are ripped, so you would see that they also are over his legs. So like in the area where the knees are ripped, you would see that he also has them matching over his legs. And then, for the last child, you would see an adorable, brightly pearlescent style colored, or opalescent style colored fairy, with pastel blue hair, very pale skin. She has thin butterfly wings behind her, so even though she's got like a little tunic, her wings are consistently exposed, but they're not large because she's not large, but they're butterfly wings. So they would have a pattern that would look like ice shards. So if you were to think of like an Argyle sweater, effectively an Argyle sweater patterning, but it would obviously look like, because they're translucent for the most part, they would look like they are shining with a pale bluish white light. And she also has pretty green eyes, and she is really tiny, young, and also a small creature. But that's your 14 children you've got to keep safe.
What was his name?
Ragboy?
Yeah, Anthony?
Ragboy.
Jonathan? Was it Jonathan?
Oh no, Anthony Ragboy?
Oh,
No,
okay.
Ragboy's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Okay.
Mhm.
I thought he was in the
thought he
group.
was here.
Where is he?
He's just a regular boy.
Dead.
He's working in Slums North now, probably.
Snitch, they're turning him into a brother.
Do you have estimate ages for the Earth Ganassi and the fairy?
Fairy, she looks very young, probably about 5-6 years old. Earth Ganassi looks like he is bordering on teenage years. He's approximately 12.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Fuckload of people, homie. So, like, this is going to be one of those situations in which, obviously, I'm not a voice actor. If you want to talk to an individual, please instruct who you would like to talk to, because I am not going to be capable of fluidly, dynamically swapping between varying ages and races of 27 different people.
Yep.
I'll do my goddamn best, though, obviously.
I don't recognize any of the children, correct?
Recognize them specifically?
Like, I feel like they have, like, different enough features that if I'd seen them out, like...
Correct. You do not recognize any of them specifically, no. Everybody's packing up. Luna would rush over towards the adults who are kind of like effectively going to a kid each. And instead of the only one who would not have effectively an adult assigned to them is the oldest one, which is the Goliath boy. He looks like, again, he's about 15, 16 years old. He is the one that when you guys instructed, like, try to give weapons to the older kids, he's the only one with a weapon. The Earth Ganassi boy looks like he's kind of upset that he doesn't have one, where he's looking over at the Goliath boy who's got, again, from Christian, a reasonable wrought iron sword. Like, it's not shining like it's steel or anything, but it would hit and it would hurt. And not necessarily really gonna, like, slash or cleave through anything, but he still looks over pretty jealously at him. All the other kids are fucking children.
You said the Ganassi kid's like 12-ish?
Approximately 12, yeah. Again, they're all humanoid, like, they don't really age at wildly different ranges from humanoid, so he would have comparable stature. So, like, 4'7", 4'8", like, kind of starting to get, like, a little bit taller. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll see that he's upset that he doesn't have a weapon. And I'll give him, I'll pull out of my bag my quarterstaff.
Sure. Yeah, he looks over at you as you approach him with, your large quarterstaff, and he just kind of looks up at you, kind of like, I don't want to say doughy-eyed because he is trying to give off the air of, like, I'm a tough kid.
Yeah, I'm dangerous.
Yeah, like, you don't know what I can do with that. And he just kind of looks up and he's like, wow, thank you.
It's good for walking.
Yeah, thank you.
Then you just pop things with it.
Yeah. Anything gets close to us, I'll bop it.
Yeah.
Twist it. Oh,
that's it.
nice.
What's his name? Simon.
If you do ask his name, he would tell you his name is Vel.
Vel?
V-E-L.
Which kid is this?
The Earth Ganassi boy.
I would introduce myself back.
Mm-hmm. If you would like me to just give you the names of the children, I can absolutely do that. If you guys would like to take the time to introduce yourselves, I do not have any qualms whatsoever with that.
We don't know their names yet. I don't know if
There's 14 of them.
like one of the adults would
Sure,
point
absolutely.
them out to
Like,
everyone.
as you guys are standing there awkwardly, Iris would come over and just, like, effectively pull out a parchment and just jam the parchment in front of one person's face. Probably yours. Just because, like, she understands. These are the children. Keep the children safe.
We'll do that. That's why we're here.
Their names kind of make sense. I also put down descriptions for each of them. This way you know if they get lost, and you can make sure that you have the right child back, because we might encounter other children in the caverns.
Who's saying this?
Iris.
What? Are there other children in the caverns?
They're not actually children. They're...
Like ghosts?
Some are ghosts of children, yes, absolutely. Now that you bring that up, there would also be ghosts of children down here, because, people die down here. Thousands. Tens of thousands of people die down here, actually.
Illusions?
This is effectively a mass grave. Not only illusions, but also people that can feign the appearance of other things. So make sure that none of the children actually separate from the group ever, because they might come back and not actually be that child.
What?
Sorry?
Iris, I'm glad to see nothing's changed.
It's good to see you, too.
Long time no see.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to have you back.
Glad to be back.
You'll be alright down here.
Better than where I was.
Probably.
Perhaps we should have some sort of code word to identify in case a child does run off? Or would these creatures that take the form of them also steal all of their memories?
I have a whistle. We could use that.
He can just whistle for the children.
Oh, that's not quite what I meant. I meant...
Hello!
Buddy!
Children! Buddy!
Nazareth home! Children here! I more meant if we give the whistle to somebody in the back who's got a sight of all the children, they can blow the whistle if they see one get out of line.
Well, they may not notice, and also I don't know if we want to alert.
Well, we're going to assign, children to the adults. Again, so the way that this should work is one grouping of people, which would be called the Vanguard, is going to move forward first to be able to do the expedition. This way we can see where passages are safe. You obviously don't want to get too far ahead of us and lose us. That kind of defeats the purposes of being the Vanguard, but the Vanguard is effectively the scouts. You should be at no more a few hundred paces away from us at all times. This way we can effectively still communicate with messages and other spells. But we don't know who's going to be in that group, so we want to make sure that we have that settled and ready to go before we start assigning the children to the various adults that are staying back. Yes?
I volunteer.
For?
Vanguard.
Fantastic. I figured you would, Felix.
I do as well.
That's probably all right. You're very loud, in very big armor, and you're going to echo.
No, he's got new armor now.
He's got new armor now?
It's
Yeah.
not quite as loud.
Oh, well then fantastic. Then you're a perfect candidate, because this way if anything gets stabbed, it's you.
And also, even if I were loud, I would just draw them to me, not you.
Yes, you could have run away into the furthest reaches of the caves and draw them away from the children. That would have been a great sacrifice you could have made.
Right.
That was your intention, yes?
Partly, yeah. Sure.
That's worrisome. Well, we have 2 for the Vanguard.
I will volunteer for the Vanguard.
I just always assumed I was going.
Certainly. I mean, again, we are the ones that are more familiar with the children. They're going to listen to us probably better, but again, this is going to be a multi-day journey, and there will probably be points at which you are exhausted or dead or grievously injured and might need a rest. At which point, obviously, the role of the Vanguard would change.
Yes.
I just stare at her with my tired eyes with one level of exhaustion.
I ain't hear no bell.
Well, I'm sure you'll be fine, Felix. You're a very resilient young man.
I don't say anything. I just stare at her with a soulless stare.
Thank you for making this awkward.
Just into her mind. Shh. Just stop.
How far into this area have you been before?
Have I been? Not very far at all.
Let me rephrase. How much do we know about where we're going?
It's like serpentine structure of caverns interconnected with tunnels.
Okay.
We're journeying approximately 25 miles under the ground.
Have any of the areas closest to us been explored in the past?
Yes, very briefly.
Okay. What do we know about what's coming up immediately?
Well, I mean, it's not as though things down here are exclusively tied to certain places. A lot of the creatures that are naturally down here are transient.
Sure.
So it's difficult to pinpoint where they might be. They could pop up at any time. You never know. Like, ooh!
But as far as direction goes, we have an idea.
We know we're going that way. Northeast.
Sure.
And that's the northeast one. This one's southwest. That's where Thariel lived.
We don't want to go that way.
The southwest spot. It's literally a dead end. I don't
Okay.
actually know why I took time to put it on the map, but realism.
Sure.
But that's where she lived.
I mean,
Like, go scope out my old room. Just the way I left it.
Yeah, I could just settle in here and stay. Fuck these guys.
So I have to be oddly specific. Okay.
Specific about what? No, we don't know exactly where we're going. The journey for, again, the 25 approximate miles is very difficult for us to ascertain a singular path. You're going to weave through probably hundreds of tunnels.
Sure.
That would be difficult for any person to try to appropriate into a map.
Right.
Especially when we haven't really made this journey before.
I'm more asking immediately after this archway.
Yes. You will see kind of like a Y intersection where you can go left or right.
Okay.
And then you just keep going.
Okay.
Beyond that, well, if you went right, you would eventually reach another intersection, and you could go right or straight or left. And if you went left at the onset, you would eventually reach another intersection.
Into her mind, I just say, please stop.
And you could go left or right.
No, please.
I would say right would be bad because there's a lot of spiders within a den there. Gloom weavers, we call them.
That is the information that I'm after.
Well, we'll try to avoid the spiders then.
I just want to know, as the vanguard, what I'm looking out for.
Spiders.
Spiders.
In a den.
I've grasped.
Large webbing
the
over the
gloom-
mouth of the cave.
The gloom weavers in the den. Gotcha.
Yes.
Understood.
Thank you
That is all I will look for.
for volunteering for this brave service. I pray you live.
I'm so tempted to detect thoughts on her. But I don't want to know. I don't want to know what she's thinking.
Well,
I feel like she was committed to misunderstanding me.
She's just probably saying, I hope he dies.
The password idea is not a terrible idea. Should anybody have to stop off for any reason, be good for the children to have some way of communicating that it's them.
Just in case a monster comes back disguised
Something
as a
simple
child.
like word association.
It's also a way
Yes.
for them to know that the adult they're with is the person they're supposed to be
Yes.
The adult says teddy bear, the child says toothpaste or something. I don't know.
Perhaps we can mark the children?
They could, I think, just...
Step on up to the stand!
Well, wouldn't we want to just use one in case we find them?
Yes. Agreed. One password.
Greed is good.
I do not feel comfortable saying that.
Just gonna shrug at you.
Iris,
What?
for when you say that something might come back as the children,
yes.
are you referring to someone disguising themselves as that, or like a skin stepper?
A skin stepper.
Okay.
Quite
Yes.
comparable to a skin stepper.
Wait, do we establish skin steppers in this campaign? Oh
Yeah.
God!
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Here in the, well, here in what again we call the Undercity, I'm not quite certain that they're skin steppers. They're very strange. It's more like they dissolve the person and then wear their skin. So I guess you could call them skin steppers, but more like skin suckers. I'm working on that name. I don't
Yes.
love it, but
I think it's a great name.
thank you.
So I knew about skin steppers. Do I know about that?
You can roll a history check, bud.
Oh, disadvantage! Sweet.
Yeah, you're so
sweet.
tired you can't remember skin suckers.
Oh, fuck. That's actually not bad, maybe. History, where are you? My bones.
Which of the kids is the youngest?
So 16.
Abigail and the fairy girl and the owlin are all approximately 5 years
Around
old.
5.
You said, sorry, one section.
Okay.
What did you say your roll was? 16. I will tell you that you don't know anything about that specifically, but I will indicate to you that you are an intelligent man with a solid understanding of both anatomy and the function of things that you have fought so far. Your best association for this would be almost like a spider that is capable of emulsifying a person within. I'm glad I answered. Yes.
As somebody who's resided down here for a while.
Yes.
Do I recall any like telltale signs of like critters or like things to look out for?
You would be familiar with several different monsters in this area. You would be not very familiar with that because when you were down here, you lived kind of in isolation for the most part. So, like, you and your companion would have spent the majority of your time together and journeyed outwards together. So the odds of one of the two of you encountering that would have been more minimal. They would definitely prey upon larger groups of people, which obviously that's what this is. But you would know some of the other monsters down here, and yes, absolutely have good telltale signs for some of them. I can tell you or I can message you, your preference.
guess you can tell me. That's fine.
So I would tell you that the barbed devils that you have encountered down here before, traditionally they stay in the areas in which it almost feels like there is a natural heat. So again, with this being metamorphic rock, we are definitely in the presence of like higher ambient heat. We've, had other areas in which like there's been volcanic activity. That's also why I mentioned earthquakes. But like there's definitely something hot in this general area that in certain areas more concentrated definitely gives off an ambient heat, and barbed devils like to try to stay around those areas. I would also tell you that the spiders, when they do attempt to make dens, they do it in areas in which other like smaller beast-like creatures like the rats and rodents and things like that would have been a little bit more common. So they would actually be in the area of buildings, not in the same alcoves that the buildings might be in, but in ones adjacent or near it, because rats and rodents would go in and then eventually come out and be nice and fat, and that's when they like to eat the most. And then I would say you would have also at some point encountered a quaggoth called a deep bear. You would know that they are... Paul's checked out. No! You would know that they are... They look almost emaciated. So, like, they are tall, but they are not like the thick, chunky style bears. They walk more bipedal.
That's so much worse.
Right?
And
They're
they look
fast.
hungry.
Yeah, they're fast and hungry. You would know that. That they typically are very stealthy, very good at ambushing, and they are things that attempt to their best capability, disguise themselves amidst the stone. Deep bears, Tom. Deep bears.
I'll just say I share this information as we like are walking through.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
yeah, as
oh,
you
I
guys-
remember my
I was gonna use
time.
those-
Yes,
Norfolk
as
Avenue.
you guys are like getting, prepped and like
Avenue
starting to
North.
figure everything out, and like you guys are all obviously going to choose the vanguard so we can stay together. Yeah, I would tell you that you know of them. They are like 9 feet tall. Again, kind of like lanky but fast.
Do you share this with the
Still heavy, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Share it with the
Please show
group?
them.
Tell me.
That's why I pulled it up.
What'd you look at the picture
I knew
of
what
it?
they looked like. I just
They're
wanted to show them.
I
Yeah.
chose the correct swap.
Right.
It's like a tall goblin.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's
it's.
weird.
Mhm.
Like a tall, furry goblin.
Mhm.
A frog.
I hope it's the one on the right.
That's not the one I was thinking of. Hang on.
Oh, I can't make it on my
Is yours
own.
worse? Oh, no.
I don't think it is. I don't.
Oh, yikes.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking of.
Fine.
I like mine better.
They're fast.
They're friends.
No problem.
I'm exhausted.
Mhm.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
I pray. Well,
Deep.
again,
They are prey.
right? Assuming, again, like I said, we all are going to choose the vanguard.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would be the individuals moving ahead of the party, and they would wait. Obviously, again, trying to make sure that they are within approximately 200 to 300 feet of you guys.
Do we have a password for?
That's up to you guys. If you guys want to choose that.
I did say greed is good, but
I think maybe
Ether.
something simple for the kids.
Iris
to
backwards is
remember.
Siri.
Do we think Nesgrim can remember a
Hey,
password?
Siri.
Hey Siri.
Could do Siri.
They're all going. All of them are going off now.
no.
There is no spoon.
Um,
Just using World of Warcraft or Warcraft 3 cheats.
Mm-hmm.
what if we did something that presumably all of the children have encountered? Snow.
Rocks.
Just make the password snow.
I think that is a
Fine.
good password, yes.
Okay, so you would say that the children should need to say snow?
Or any of
Yes.
the kids nonverbal.
They're all verbal.
Okay.
I just want to know so this way Iris can instruct the kids that. So then the parents would be, adults would be saying, what's the password? Kids would say snow. Just so this way I know what we're trying to set in stone.
Yes.
And the
Fantastic.
You could say set in snow.
Oh, Also, same way for adults.
Yeah, I think the kids should also be instructed to ask the adults if they
For
get
the
separated
password.
for the
Yeah.
password.
And adults should be.
It's just a safety thing for them, yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yep. Well, into another glorious, terrifying mega dungeon, buddy.
Well, I know I had to step away,
Mm-hmm.
but I would approach my parakeet.
I'm ready. I'm ready. My action.
His parakeet.
Ready.
I couldn't remember her name. That's why I said my parakeet.
Amelia.
I would
have
have.
told her name.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, because maybe okay.
She's gonna get Amelia.
Emelia.
I'm so ready.
Yeah, I mean, she's dressed in, nice looking, well decorated plate armor. She, again, oh my god, there's so many other fucking things I need to look at. Yeah, blonde hair, little messy bob, bright blue eyes. She also, nice plate armor, decently dressed. She's definitely like hustling and bustling with the kids, and she looks like she's in her early 20s.
Hi, are you Amelia?
Detect thoughts.
Yeah, so you would get surface level thoughts from her.
Yes.
You would get like the sensation emotionally of like curiosity, of like, what's that? Yeah. Yes. Do I know you?
My name is Nesgrim.
Nice to meet you. Still curious.
Are
you all right?
I'm fine. Yes.
You look like you've seen battle recently.
So much. Iris and Faye have told me a lot about you.
That's very nice.
Just wanted to say I have a great deal of respect for what you do here.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. It's been an honor to serve these children.
I look forward to helping with that. Protecting children is the reason I'm here.
What do I
The
get?
reason I started
Started
learning how to fight.
You started to learn how to fight to protect children
Correct.
in your age?
What do I get, John?
You would get a genuine sensation of like almost elation and reverence. Like
Any actual thoughts?
so in order to detect like you get like their surface emotional stuff.
Okay.
To be able to detect like what they're legitimately full on thinking, you have to probe deeper, and I have to make a save.
Okay.
And then if I pass the save, I know you're detecting my thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
I won't.
So yeah, if you just want the like basic emotional stuff,
For
like,
now.
I can easily do. But yeah, no, genuinely like a sense of reverence, like, oh my god, here's this old man at the brink of death going, I need to protect children. I've got to learn to fight to
so
protect
great, he's an old
these
man.
kids.
Oh
Like,
God.
how thoughtful and like generous to sacrifice your life.
I've been doing this a long time. When I was young, the reason I learned to begin fighting was to protect children.
Oh.
Long before I was this age.
Oh.
And I'm not quite that old. I'm young at heart.
I understand. Forgive my assumption. Still a very noble thing to continue to do into your ages. Were you a child?
Fuck it.
When
I'm
you-
digging deeper.
When you decided to fight to protect other children?
Make a save, Amelia. It's a DC 15.
I imagine I'd be within...
Intelligence.
15 on the die, baby! Oh my god.
She has a neutral or a positive intelligence mod.
You don't know. 15 on the die and I'm passing.
No, it's wisdom. I apologize.
Wisdom?
Yes.
Even better!
That one I assumed
Yes.
would be better.
She also has a +4 because I'm within.
You're within 10 feet. Fair.
Buffs against
Yeah,
the
so I
party.
mean, she would definitely like feel, a strange presence.
Yeah.
but doesn't say anything.
Sure.
All right. Well, if she wants to push me out, she has to make an intelligence check against me.
Sure. Yeah, no, she doesn't.
Okay.
She's like aware that there's something weird that she's feeling, but doesn't seem
It's love.
like pressed to push it away.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, you would get like, oh my god, here's probably this young bullied boy who saw people taking advantage of his plight, and he stood up against his oppressors. That's great. And yeah, she would look at you and be like, you look like you got beaten up as a kid. And you needed to fight them off.
You look like someone I'd bully.
Yeah.
That's courageous.
That's sort of what
It
happened.
takes much bravery to stand up to unfair treatment.
I was raised in Hayek.
I don't know what that is.
Sure. I was raised
Or
around.
It was a shore?
Does she? Okay.
No, it was east of Oshuamp.
Nope. The other way. It was 50-50. It was east? Sir, are you alright? His age is showing.
It was to the west of Oshuamp.
That's the mountains.
Correct.
You lived in the mountains?
I was raised in a city of.
Beyond the woods of Narenta?
I was raised in a city of Ganassi and Tieflings.
Oh, so you are amongst good people.
Indeed.
Oh,
Under the watch of the Sisters of Acceptance.
I don't know what that is, sir.
Okay. How long have you been down here?
But in the caverns?
Yes.
I mean, I've
Come here often.
been raised within the guild.
Okay.
My sister and I came here when we were very young.
Came to the caverns.
No, we came to Oshuamp. It was just her and I. She's several years older than I, and she was looking for work, and I found Luna, and, well, they took me in when my sister went missing.
What was your sister's name?
Elise?
Elise.
Yes.
I assume she's not leaving out any details.
To him, no.
Okay.
And you would definitely also simultaneously feel a sense of, like, despondency and longing as she discusses her sister.
When did she go missing?
Around 12 years ago? 15 years ago now? No, 12, sorry.
I imagine you tried to look for her.
Yes, I was very young. But I asked Luna and the others if they could help me. We asked around as much as we could, and we think she was taken.
By the inner sanctum.
Yes, and that's why I grew up devoted to also protecting people. And why I spend most of my time down here ensuring that the children stay safe.
Well, it is a very noble and honorable thing you've done.
Thank you, sir.
I look forward to helping you through this journey.
I look forward to helping you as well.
If you ever need help, just look for my gray hair.
It was, I didn't want to say, but obviously very noticeable.
It glints in the light, I know.
All right. I'll do my best.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to the people that are currently staring at me.
It's all of us.
Yep.
Just mouthing the words, "What's up? What's up?"
You, thank you for being here.
Of course. Walk on away.
How old does she
Thank you
look?
for your service.
Young, like early 20s.
What do I get as
Like
he walks
20,
away?
21. You would detect that, I mean, genuinely, a kind of, like, very base fear of, like, not knowing and not having witnessed him fight. Like, she knows the dangers that are down here, and she's very afraid he's gonna die.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like, oh no, like, it's really bad down here. I think this guy's in over his head. It's very sweet that he's been doing this, but, like, there's monsters down here, and I don't know if he's fit enough to handle himself.
Okay. I mean, I would continue to detect thoughts until she either tries to push me out or a minute ends.
Yep. Yeah, she would not push you out for that full minute. She would just go back to helping the children. It would be like, oh my god, these kids are, like, wonderful, but I'm very worried that, she would think of the name Petal.
Petal.
Petal. Like a petal. She would think to herself, like, I'm very worried that little Petal is going to do what she always does and fly away. And she would clearly run over towards the fairy girl, as she is the one who has been assigned to the little fairy girl.
Amelia,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
You said your sister was taken?
Oh, yes, pardon me, yes.
I'm sorry. Thariel.
You would know her and not really have had much interaction with her.
Okay.
You would have been, like, told who she is, what she's doing down here. You would have, like, seen her in passing, but not
'Cause
really
I don't know
interacted
how
with
like
her.
hidden I was if like
You
she
were
had
pretty
seen
hidden.
me.
Yes,
So
you
I
were
knew of
pretty
her,
hidden.
but she didn't know of me.
Correct.
Deal. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So introduce
Nice,
yourself.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. And I like kind of hold her hand for just like a second longer. You said your sister was taken?
We think so. I mean, she did a lot of work outside of the city. She would get hired to help find people that went missing.
Mm.
Kind of like a bounty hunter.
Okay.
But again, I was very young. She didn't like to tell me what she did because she didn't want to scare me. And then she went out for one of her journeys and did not come back. And when we tried to inquire about what happened, we were, refused answers. Told that she had gone missing.
Judging by her body language.
Yeah.
How open would she be for a hug?
She...
Like if I was like, oh.
yeah, I would say she would accept it with the notion that, like, she wouldn't take it well if it felt like it was just the socially right thing to do and not, oh my god, I've also, like, lost things and I do actually sympathize. Yeah.
So I pull her into a
Yeah,
hug.
absolutely.
And I go, I too know what it's like to lose family to the inner sanctum.
So sorry.
Do not apologize. I don't look for sincerities. It's all we can do is move forward and figure out how to stop these guys.
Yes. Simple platitudes of sorrow and apology can only help us so much, and we must make sure that we continue to do all that we can in the moments that we have.
Yeah. As I pull away from her, I just keep my hand on her face and just like little circles on her cheek. Just we'll get through this.
Yes, we will. We have a very many wonderful group of brave and powerful people, and we will all work together. We'll be all right.
You're strong and you're beautiful, and you will get through this.
Thank you. Wow.
Still detecting thoughts?
I don't know. I mean, if that's within a minute.
Chell indicated that she would, like, kind of be going over right when he's done, so, like, I would say you would be there at the front of that conversation and would have, like, run out at the tail end. So, like, you would have been detecting up to the hug.
Up to the hug? Okay.
Yeah, so you would have hit the, like, I really hope she means it. And then when she says, like, I too have lost people, you would immediately hit the, like, you know, the melancholy of someone else's, like, sharing a difficult story or a difficult moment. And it's like, I can actually see the pain in her eyes as well. And this is genuine. And then the comfort of the hug. And then.
Okay.
Get back over to the crew.
All friends.
Gonna light a torch and pull out the orb of direction and the orb of time to get a basis for where we started.
Very good.
Talk crystals, if you will.
I would go over to Iris, and I would tell her I am going to be marking the tunnels as we are walking with chalk.
It's a good idea.
So that we can determine where we are going and where we have been.
Yes, it's very good that we do not get lost.
Yes.
These are very windy tunnels.
Yes. If we are going in a direction, I'm going to mark an X with an arrow extending out from it the way we are going.
Mm-hmm.
And if we determine it is a dead end, I'm going to extend the arrow and put another X. That way we can determine where we are going and if we are reversing the path, where we are going back to, and if it was a dead end or not.
Hold on, that confused me. What are you saying?
Yes. No. So originally it's going to be this. And then if we say, okay, this is dead and we come back to it, I'm then going to extend it and draw another X. Because if I just turn this into an X, then you can't tell which way
Why
it
not
was.
just use an arrow and then an X for now?
No.
I don't know. Because then I have to cross over the whole thing.
What? Saying an arrow for go, arrow X means dead end. Just for simplicity.
Okay. I just thought this would be helpful for directions.
I'll just thumbs up.
Okay.
You got the chalk, buddy.
We can draw something scary if there's something bad down there.
A frowny face?
No, like monsters.
Like a ghost.
I would caution you about using light. I know you might struggle to see in the dark down here, but many of the creatures will be drawn to it.
If I can't use light, then I shouldn't be in the vanguard.
Yes. You can use light, but be wary of what gets drawn to you for it.
I'll just nod.
Yeah, absolutely. She would nod and turn back, and, again, they're going to hang back like 120 to 200 feet at all times. Again, they're pushing like 3 to 4 wheelbarrows. You can see that like some of the kids are absolutely already jumping inside of the wheelbarrows to like sit on top of the rucksacks. Grimdar is the rucksack, is what I mean. He's in the bag.
Playing hide and seek.
You said they're going to be about like
200 feet.
Okay, cool.
Like,
far enough back that I don't necessarily have to state that I'm gonna. If I have to pull the sunblade, they're gonna be in range.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Nope, absolutely good. Yes.
How old were Vara and the other two tiefling girls?
Vara looks like she is approximately 14. The middle one for the other tiefling girl looks about 10. Youngest looks about 7.
And they look like they're all related.
Yes.
Okay.
Family. And did you want the names of all the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know Abigail, you know Maribel, Grimdar, Nina, and Bran.
Mm-hmm.
The middle tiefling girl, the one who's 10 years old, is named Cordelia.
Mm.
We know Vara is 14.
Mm-hmm.
The youngest tiefling girl is Aurora. The fairy is Petal.
Mm-hmm.
The emerald dragonborn is named Echo. The owlin is Demoven. Demoven. Like Demoven. Or Demoven.
Demogorgon, got it.
Yep, the Demogorgon kid. That was taken into this tunnel down here. The Harengun, which is the rabbit folk, his name is Hailwind. Literally the word hail and the word wind. The Earth Ganassi we know is Bel, B-E-L. And then the Goliath is named Skane, S-K-A-N-E.
Right, and the Dragonborn you said was around 10 or 12?
10 to 11, approximately.
Who appears to be responsible for Bran?
Which adult you mean?
Mm-hmm.
The adult responsible for Bran is the one tiefling woman that you guys have not met previously. She's got a nice big shield and a big white lab coat, and she looks like she is very well versed in problematic children.
Good luck. Did we get her name?
You did not, but I will tell you that her name is Kilari. K-I-L-A-R-I. And obviously because she is standing, like, kind of, you know, adjacent to Serenity, the implication is that she is Serenity's wife.
Does she look like the kids?
Yes. She also, they both are gray tieflings. Yeah.
Okay.
Light a torch.
Light a torch, check Orb of Time and Direction for a starting point. And, I mean, as we get ready to head out, my skin will glisten. I'll cast Inertial Armor.
Very good.
5.
Awesome. Yeah, it would be around 10 a.m. at this point.
Okay.
Just with the time you guys would have spent packing, would have been another like 2.5 hours. Gathering everybody up, and then like 10-15 minutes down here talking to get set up for everything. Yeah, and the Orb of Direction would tell you that you guys, as you're facing into that large opening, you guys would be facing east. Oh no.
I like that he looks at you all the time.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to terrify me
Yep.
in my dreams.
I will also tell you that as you guys again approach this cavernous opening, you can see that it obviously, the walls kind of narrow down into this tunnel ahead, where the opening is 20-ish feet wide and about 40 feet in height, 50 feet in height, and that at the top of the opening of the cavern tunnel itself, you can see that what is hanging down are not simply stalactites. It's called flowstone. So flowstone is where, yeah, it's fucking gnarly looking. Flowstone is where there is effectively an abundance of water, and stalactites grow almost in a formation, so it would look like rows of teeth.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
The mall, if you will.
The mall.
Yeah, man,
If-
we're going in.
My memory serves from our time in Felfar, then everybody has dark vision except for Felix, right?
Yep.
Especially
I would just assume that you do because you're wearing a veil and being nice and scary and a vampire. So
Actually, I've
I'm blind.
Oh God, it's like whale teeth.
So pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Did we just...
Look at the same thing. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, as we're getting ready to head out, I'm gonna go ahead and walk up behind Ether and Felix and put my hand on your shoulders. This might help. I'm gonna close my eyes and just wince a little bit, and I'm going to give you guys eyes of the night.
Ooh.
You can put that out. You now have dark vision for a range of 300 feet.
Holy shit!
For an hour.
Is that spell slot?
Nope.
Cleric feature.
Yeah, put out the torch. Put it away. Finally.
Man, because I know you can't see and you have great eyesight.
piggyback on
I have beautiful eyes.
My special eyes.
Thank you very much, Forrest.
Should help.
I'll just, now, after I put the torch out, I'll just wink at you.
Felix.
In your mind, not like that. Good.
You Morse coding him?
Help me. Gray's weird. Help.
Well, as previously indicated, the tunnel ahead of you guys remains at the same approximately 20 feet in width, about 40 feet in height. The stone does not really change. It remains the same metamorphic rock of various colors. I would tell you guys, for individuals, that as you're walking side by side, you would get no real odor from the rock itself. Like, there's not really any form of life in the surrounding area where you might commonly feel or smell the odors of like cave moss and things like that. We're deep inside the cave, so we would not be in the areas in which the cave moss would be abundant or present. It just smells like dirt and a little bit like soot, but not like a bad burnt charcoaly smell, but a little bit like soot. The tunnel would continue approximately 120, 150 feet before opening up into a wider passageway that, again, would still be 40 feet in height, 20 feet wide, and it would be a Y-shaped intersection where there's a clear delineation to the right and delineation to the left, walling here.
So with direction, what's north?
Which one is north?
Yeah.
The left passageway would look like it would be directing more northward.
Okay, so in terms of where we are in the city and where we typically leave, we leave through the north and then we go northeast usually. So we would know that effectively, where do we leave the carts? Like, if we enter the city from, I guess we didn't enter from the tunnels because we went through a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be hard to distinguish which way if I use the tavern as a starting point?
Yeah. You would think, would you prefer cardinal directions like north by northeast or something like that, or would you rather maritime like a face of a clock?
Either.
So I'll give you both. I would say based on the tavern, you would think east by northeast. If you're thinking the face of a clock, you would be thinking where you guys were as your starting point, roughly 2:30.
30. So I'm thinking left. Or no, right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm thinking sideways.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So right.
Yep.
So
you would be thinking that way.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean.
So you have a north passageway or an east passageway. Again, at the juncture you currently are at, neither of them feels like they would be wrong.
Yeah. North would be closer. So.
And Iris did tell me, I guess, not to go to the right there, right?
No, she just said that in the area after, you would hit an intersection and then an intersection, and if you went away at the one intersection, you probably will reach the one spider den. So it was right, and then if you went straight, and then right. So right, straight, right would be spider den.
I would relay that to Felix since he's navigating.
Mm-hmm.
Iris said not to go to the right, straight, and then to the right.
Right, straight, then left?
I think we should go left. Just skip right altogether.
Again, genuinely,
Look at
this is a
everybody else.
labyrinthine, serpentine-style maze. You don't know whether or not that brings you back the way you came or not. That's the way I'm going to put this.
We choose a direction.
I would just skip
left
right
then?
altogether. Yeah, I would just go left.
You don't want to make that many left turns.
Well, this is just one. If we go left, right, and then straight, hopefully not spider den.
I like that you're assuming there's no other spider dens.
Well, I'm sure there are, but
Right, so we'll just avoid that one and...
hope we don't hit any more.
I'll
Too
just
much.
start to step
Understood.
towards the left.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, left passageway, once it begins following, after about 120 more feet, you're angling, alright? So when you're angling on this left route, you have another juncture to the right, or you can continue on this way, after about 150-ish feet, approximately. You can either stay left, or you can veer right. Now again, it's going to look like tunnels. There's not really going to be any indication that anything is really changing here until you're in the area
Do
of
they
days.
split like that?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
How wide, how tall?
Same distance. 40 feet in height, 20 feet
Consistently.
wide. Yes. Yeah, again, like, as you're going through this, it feels to you like The impression would be, because you are exploring natural cavernous formations here, and because this is pretty uniform across, that something probably dug this out. Like a creature dug this out by burrowing.
Just gesture right.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Nesgrim.
Oh, that was all I had.
It was very helpful.
I helped once.
Yeah.
From here on out, it's your call.
I'm just gonna look at Ether and make sure he's chalking it up.
Chalking the walls.
Absolutely. You chalk the walls, and you guys go right.
Yep.
I have extra chalk in my inventory too. I'll
Cool.
relay that if you need it.
Thank you.
You guys, okay, you'd be able to see, because you have 300 feet of dark vision, the passageway for the right. I guess because of distance, you would be able to discern, like, at 100-ish feet, it looks like it branches out in other passageways. But you guys continue through that, and I'll tell you that you come to a solid 4-way intersection.
Jesus.
So you can go straight, left, or right. Because obviously the 4th way would be back the way you
I
guys
was
came.
about to say what?
Reverse,
Okay.
reverse.
Narrow, again, same uniform area.
Just gestured forward.
Yeah, I'll tell you that again with what you're able to see.
That's scary, right?
To the left, same thing would look like continues straight away and looks like it veers off to the right and then the left. That's to the left. Looking straight ahead, it looks like it continues for about 20-ish feet before angling to the right. So you wouldn't be able to see beyond the angle if you're looking at the straight. To the right, it would look like it is a hard right turn and continues beyond around 150 feet before angling to the right. Like I said, it's legitimately a maze.
We're really trying to get to those spiders.
So this is the. This is what it looks like. So it's like we
Yes.
go straight, it like curves that way.
Correct.
We go this way, it hard rights.
Yep.
And then this goes off into different ways.
Chell, I don't really like that.
You're very helpful and I appreciate it very much.
You know what? Let's go. I'm gonna just continue to gesture forward.
I would show what I could show if it did not show many other
God damn
discreet
it.
secret things.
Now you see.
I'm glad.
Now you see.
I'm glad you started laughing because I was
He
like,
was the
okay,
one that
he
told me it that
he
way.
sees it too.
Oh my god.
I saw it pretty quick.
You know what? Pick a direction. I don't give a shit.
I
See,
just
it's
I
funny
continue
'cause
to
for
gesture
me,
forward.
It's not actually that, but yep, alright.
Yeah, gesture forward.
You're gonna go straight.
Which way would you like?
Okay.
I would say to go left.
I would go left.
With being able to see that there's just like it's a curve that's going to keep going to the right, and then over here we have more options of branching.
Forward curves to the right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forward
Then
goes
fuck that. We're going left. Yeah.
Forward
Did my
goes
picture not
about
prove that?
20 to 30
No, I didn't look at any of the details of the picture. No.
So we're going left.
Yes.
Keeping that
fucking
plausible
test.
deniability. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, so if we could please inform me of a walking order.
I guess I would be first.
How wide is the
20 feet wide.
20 feet? I
So
would
you can do
probably
2 by 2.
bunch us up in, try to keep us in like kind of like a diamond shape.
Well, you two have I imagine it'd be you two at the front, right?
Me too.
The 3 of them have
I
good.
know.
I've got duties.
My movement speed's half, so I'm probably last.
I've got bright eyes too.
Your movement speed's half.
I would
Yeah.
She
be.
still has exhaustion.
So
Two
Should
levels
be
of
even
it.
more.
No,
Oh,
me. I'm only
back
one.
second. Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm exhausted, so I will be in
Yeah,
the
I'll
Probably
be up front.
you
yeah.
with the lead, and then Felix and I behind you.
back.
So who's leading?
Vorst.
So Vorst by himself.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
the
Then
nose.
Felix,
Point on the
Ether.
nose.
Yep.
Get him, Scooby.
Then Retor and Esgrim.
Yeah. If possible, I'd want to walk
Where's the
next to
food,
Forrest,
Scoob?
but-
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather walk next to Vorst?
Yeah, for sure.
So you are up by the front. So it's Vorst, Nesgrim, Felix, Ether, Retora, Tauriel, Yellow. Okay.
Ever feel like
The killers are in the back.
But I gave you eyes of the night.
worked.
Ah,
Gave you
man.
eyes of the night. You're fine.
Hysterical.
We're playing
Where's the back of your head?
Until
Not
the
the
lights
front.
go out.
Once I
Protect
can't
You're
see.
the president. You're at the center.
Me?
Yeah, you're at the center.
I don't mean. I don't need to be projected.
It's a joke.
Should I be at the back?
It's just how it fell.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys turn left. You guys Vorse, make a fucking perception check. I want to do at least whatever I feasibly can.
Do you want me to do eyes, nose, or ears?
This would be ears.
Ears? Okay.
Because you guys would turn left and walk about 40 to 50 feet.
Love to see it.
It's going to be a 12.
12.
Oh, maybe not.
Also make me one for smell.
Good.
Give it a good sniff.
Stinky.
And for clarity, even with them leaving, I
30-20.
still would be looking.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What was it?
Dirty 20.
Okay.
The nose knows.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You guys walk about 30 to 40 feet and you get within 10 to 15 feet of the opening on the right. So, hallway coming this way.
Mhm.
There's an opening to the right about here before it continues off further ahead straight. So you have a little breakage point to the right. You get about 10 to 15 feet within that breakage point to the right, and you get the terrible odor once again of gossamer threads and noxious venoms. Because we went literally right to the spider den. So I mean, I'm gonna have to swap the map. And we're gonna have to do this.
I said forward! How did we wind up at the spider
Killer's trap! Because we went, literally the passageway to the right it goes like this. So that's the one at the four-way to the right. So when we're like, don't go right,
crap.
that's fine. That would have led you right back. But it winds, this one goes like this. We went right and then left. So
I even tried to avoid it.
We can still go backwards. We don't have to keep.
We don't. That's true.
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give you the obvious implication that you. That's why I was asking for hearing as well. You hear chittering.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll throw my hand up and shh, kind of thing.
So to the right is spiders from where we're walking.
You guys are now walking like this, and yes, to the right. So you guys would be here. 10 feet ahead is a breakage to the right.
Yep.
That is where he is hearing spidery
Okay,
things.
got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Straight ahead would be continuing on in a tunnel.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't open up to anything yet.
Yep.
So the left path just curved right back around?
The left passageway is a Y. If you took the right at the Y, you intersect with the right passageway. If you stayed left at the Y,
Gotcha.
you would have continued going a different
So
direction.
this goes like this.
Yeah, again, I don't want to, but I'll crudely.
John,
it's so small.
roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
We're up here.
So it doesn't look like my drill.
No, I don't think so.
But this down the hallway.
Please open.
So just to be clear, we went left,
So
right,
this
left.
this is what you guys have done.
Oh.
It was coming
It's
in
not
through
too far
here.
off.
This was right. This was left. Well, this would be continuing up a little bit more. But we went left and then right and then left, and I had said, if you go right
Yeah.
and then the left,
No, right
John.
straight. And
or
then-
right straight and then
Right.
right. Yes.
I don't want to.
But-
I don't
but I
want
thought
stream
it
to see,
for-
but
I
that's
thought it
literally what I
forked.
drew.
Yep, I know. I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Just connect
but
those.
didn't
That's the
didn't
same
left
thing.
our left fork?
See, that's so much better.
Yeah, your left fork's right here.
I didn't know. I don't have a map in front of me. Y'all are a bunch of monsters.
This is a
Doing the
fork.
wrong things.
You could go right or stay on the left.
Regardless,
We
somehow we
went
ended
here,
up with spiders.
went left. I said we could continue on this left passageway, or we could go right. We went right. This was the four-way.
Mhm.
We went left at the four-way.
We ended up with
Right to
spiders.
the spider den.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Directly to the spider den.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll
So,
throw my hand up
Mm-hmm.
for a halt
Mm-hmm.
and hush everybody, and I will make a spider hand.
cool. Yeah, I'm going to slide over here and just move a couple things, because I mean...
Sorry, John.
Oh, no. Look, again, I'm not remotely upset. It's a
I
labyrinth.
am. I'm upset.
I made a labyrinth. I respect that the labyrinth is going to be difficult.
got us immediately.
Yeah, like it's a labyrinth, dude. Like it's fucking confusing. Like
Everybody look at my
This
map.
isn't something we need to take a break.
I said
for you to
forward.
do.
no, I mean I'm just gonna
Step
utilize
forward.
that space. You guys would be coming in from the opening
From
from where
here.
Dawn and
Okay.
Lawrence are.
If it's a
Okay.
straight
Just like
shot
move
here and out,
that
it's
other
protected by
opening
spiders.
thing a piece away from her.
Yeah, what if it is?
You're saying after the spiders, 25 miles.
Straight away,
smooth walking.
easy cruising.
Can you hand me the minis? Glenn? Oh, they're over there.
You don't touch it. Oh my god.
Even.
And then crumb.
Yeah, they're not fragile.
Where's Felix?
No, I'm over here. Leave me alone.
Okay.
I'm Crom.
You know I'm next to
What
you.
happened to this? Why is he Michael Jackson?
Yeah, that's why I said we got a thriller cobalt. It was in a Ziploc bag that was rolled up in my backpack.
That's
so
the
it
smooth
kinda-
criminal is what that is.
That's what I said.
You have a mini, Joe?
It's
I'm
crumb.
Crom. The little square one.
Crom.
Square base.
That one.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. Yep.
Can you grab that opening for me?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Can you pass them
Yeah,
all?
because obviously this is
Yeah.
it's actually more like this. So
Okay. This is just out of the way.
correct.
There we go.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna place them yet because I respect that you guys are right outside the opening to this. You're attempting to halt everybody, but like you're hearing chittering. You were in Felfarthen. This would feel like they've recognized there's possibly prey in the area and they're looking to come inspect. So I would say if there's something that you would like to do, I would give you the very brief opportunity to do something. Again, stop, make spider
make
sign.
spider hands. Identify with everyone that I'm making spider hands, and turn around and point back the way we came.
Sure.
Creep away.
Like move.
Yeah, I mean, Thariel and Yalamlo are the ones at the back.
Yeah, I mean, I'd help her move a little faster and
Sure.
get her turned around and start moving in the other direction.
Okay, in what direction are we going? Because now we're going to about face and look right back again at the four-way intersection.
Yeah, so when we come back to that four-way intersection, I guess I would, I'd
Left.
turn to the left
Okay.
at that intersection
Sure.
and get up around that corner to give everybody space to get back.
Right.
And depending on what occurs, potentially regroup and get back in formation.
Yeah.
Sure.
When we get to the intersection, I'd point left, which was previously forward.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Can we mark the wall with a spider as we go?
I did.
Sure. All right. Now,
As
yeah.
I'm going to cast. Does the magic feel different down here? We were told that
yes.
it was.
Sorry, forgive me. You would feel comparable to how it felt inside of Felfarthen
Okay.
in the first level. I forget what the first level was.
Unstable.
Unstable, yeah. You would not have the same sensation of the way in which the shadow weave affected you there, and you became cognizant of the like chilling effects when you used your magic. You would just sense that like it almost feels unstable here because there is like an abundance of magic.
Okay. Would it be possible to drop, as we turn around, drop towards the back of the
Party.
party?
Yeah, you could absolutely let like one of either Ether or Felix step ahead of you. Wolverston and Nesgrim would still be side by side, so you wouldn't really be able to easily, like, obviously in a 20-foot wide space, you'd be able to stand adjacent to them, so you guys could stand 3 by 3.
I'd like to
in a
be at the
line.
back of the party, and just so that I can see behind us.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, you take the steps back. Thariel, Yalamlo, and then which of either Ether or Felix would be moving up to get beyond Retora?
I would.
Okay.
Sure. Okay, so then we would be at still Thariel and Yalamlo. And then we would be at sure. Yeah, I mean, they are deep enough in the den that I would say you guys would be able to get a singular instance of movement. I do not know whether or not you guys... I would tell Vorst, I would tell you that, like, you hear them entering into what you would perceive as the mouth of whatever that room is. So you would hear them grow closer and begin to echo in the chamber immediately to the right. The echoing would kind of hit that, like, narrowing as it would funnel and grow louder. I will give you guys the opportunity to indicate if you would like to try to dash away from this, or if you guys would just move at your regular pace for a singular instance of movement.
I would get us away from the door enough to where, like, all right, now we can start dashing. Like, I want to kind of quietly back up as we're like, get, and then fucking go.
I don't know that
They're
I would
actively
dash.
following us at this
They don't know what's out here. They have simply heard movement and they are coming to investigate. Is my my effort to insinuate their intent.
We are 7 people walking down a dungeon.
Yeah,
I mean,
like...
Can I cast a spell before we dash off?
Yeah.
I want to cast Silence.
Sure. How big of an area is silence?
I think it's a
10 foot?
20, but let me just double check. I just got it. 20 foot.
You can target an object, right? As far as I recall. You target a point in range.
Yeah.
Cool.
and it's like darkness, I think, where if you...
Yeah, it travels with. That's why I'm trying to ask.
Yeah.
Because, yes. So...
like a silence bubble
Yes.
as a buffer.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was gonna say, I can't move fast. If someone wants to pick me up and run with me, I can just like, okay.
Very interesting.
Get ready to roll that burnout. Ooh.
Not that much.
Would you, like, say you were doing that out loud?
I mean, I feel like once I cast it, like the sound of our footsteps would no longer be heard.
I think he was indicating before you cast.
Probably.
That would be helpful for us, but not for the people behind us. It's no good if we can sneak past if we still alert them.
They're hundreds of feet away, aren't they? They're like 200 feet away.
Right.
So they probably haven't even heard them yet.
I mean, in the future, not this specific instance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely going to say, like, standing and talking affects this.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I mean, now I would say you, roll your burnout die for casting the spell. Which is smaller here, so it should start at a D10 instead of a D12.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also try to not be loud when I was talking.
Yeah, dude, no, absolutely. But I mean, again,
That's good.
conversation
Sure,
has to occur.
sure.
Don't roll a 1.
Dude, you're safe. Very good. I mean, you absolutely cast the spell Silence. As Yalamlo has indicated, he would have been assisting you in moving away. Getting you guys approximately 15 feet, 20 feet. Felix would get the 15. Ritor would step over. Aether would come down 10.
That's what I'm saying. If I like can like get on someone's shoulder so we can like take up
Yeah,
the space of one.
he's offering to help, like,
Okay.
kind of carry you to get you out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, like, I will be absolutely direct. Like, as you're casting the spell and you're getting moved away and you stop to, like, talk, this is now going to occur more in the tunnels as opposed to in a room. Yeah, so I mean, we're gonna roll initiative.
Initiative is an ability check, correct?
Yes, it is.
Did silence get cast?
Silence gets cast. Silence is absolutely getting cast.
And where did you cast that? In the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, John. For Vigilant Blessing, it's as an action you can give you one creature
If you want
touch.
to do it while you would have been moving, you could have done it.
Okay. Sick.
Cool. Don.
16.
Lawrence.
13.
Paul.
10.
Glenn.
13.
Joe.
Nat 1.
Awesome. Sarah.
17.
DJ.
Bottom of the order.
2.
Top of the order.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna again have to adjust this real quick, because like I said, this is now gonna be occurring in tunnels. So if you guys could part your C's.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow.
Wow. Donald me Dimbers.
Tiny Timber.
Tiny Tim. Timmy
These are like a
Tunnel
satisfying
Tickler.
It's not satisfying. Like,
None of them fit together?
No.
like at all.
It looks like they do from my perspective, but then when I
No,
sit up
they
a little
really
bit,
do
they
not.
don't.
It looks fine for me.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, this is better.
And then you guys would be
They won't get overwhelmed.
at a 4.
Well, they are spiders, so I guess they can get on the walls and the ceiling, but
So it might
maybe
be
not the
overwhelmed.
ceiling, because it's mostly stalactites, right? I would assume.
Probably wet.
Yeah, but they can't, like, really crawl on it, right? Without
Spiders
hurt.
stick to wet surfaces.
Well, without, like, potentially hurting themselves?
They're scared of water.
Spiders scared of water.
It's their biggest fear.
I don't
How do you
think they-
describe water spiders?
Those
Just
are-
in a
th-
constant state of fear.
Those are just water spiders.
I feel that.
They're different.
They're not spiders.
They're monsters.
Right?
I mean, have you seen them?
Don't they only have...
6 legs? Yeah.
I mean, they may not technically be spiders.
And that's the
but-
way that they're coming out of.
They're coming from this way.
Okay.
So it would be, they're actually coming from like here,
Okay.
but this is my way of trying to makeshift
Yep.
yeet over the old
Whoa!
fucking four-way, in which you guys are running back towards.
So, where do you think Shell and I were at in relation to that opening? Because we were at the back and started heading back this way. How
I mean,
far away from
but
that
the
opening
about
do you
face
want the
you
back of the
first.
group?
So you guys,
Just in
I
terms of time
indicated this
frame.
occurring when you were
I'm right
about
behind
20
you.
feet away from the opening. We were 4 deep, right? So 20, 25, 30, 35, you guys would have been away from that opening. And I would say, again, those squares are not going to be like accurate because this is like 90 feet.
Sure.
That should be actually the depth of this tunnel.
So we're nowhere near the...
Yeah,
fort.
so you guys are actually nowhere really near the 4-way stop. So if we want, we can easily just say that each square is 10 feet instead.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sure.
Clock moving.
So that's fine. You guys would have gotten approximately 30 feet. You'd have gotten 60 feet. You'd be about 50 to 60 feet away from the 4-way. So like,
Yep.
And based
close
on
enough.
based on the site of it, Vorst and I would be outside the range of silence, right?
Correct, because silence is 10 feet, right?
20.
It would depend
20
on
feet.
where she was placing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Were
If-
you casting it on a spot inside of the tunnel or on an item or an object?
So if I could cast it on an item or object, I will.
Yes.
So we'd be outside of it, yeah.
Yeah.
What would you
It
have
would
cast
depend
it
on
on?
what she's casting it on.
Lets you choose Felix's quarterstaff.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something you're wearing or
Yeah,
holding. It could
I'd
be
probably
something
cast it on
somebody else.
like me and just like maybe something that I have, like maybe like my glove or something that's
Sure.
just like mundane.
Totally fine. Fantastic. Well, I mean, you guys are going to hear them around the corner, not within your sight. Sarah, you would be first.
Am I within the range of silence?
No, not with where you are with 20 feet.
Okay.
You would be right outside the circle.
Okay. Perfect.
So yes, you would hear them still chittering in your direction.
I would like to ready entangle
Okay.
for let's see, it's 20-foot cube. So as soon as I see like
A spider turn the corner.
Yeah, a number of spiders. I get a spider turn the corner.
Okay.
Yep.
Sure.
As soon as I have eyes on a spider.
Casting entangle.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll your burnout.
You said it's a D10?
Yep.
3.
All good. Anything else on your turn, sir?
I think that's it.
Fantastic. Donnie boy.
I am going to ready Sacred Flame.
Same situation in case
Same
you-
situation. See a spider, blast it in the face.
Okay. Alrighty. Holding Sacred Flame. Next up is me for my first fighter. So absolutely dashing around the corner into full view of you guys. It would be a little bit difficult to discern the full extent of the coloration of the creature, simply because there is now no natural light down here. We're allowing everybody to be functioning on dark vision. But you would see a large, obviously bulbous spider running horizontally along the wall about the midpoint of it, so about, again, 40 feet in height, around 20 feet high. So clearly still above all of you, who are approximately 6 foot tall humans. A very large, genuinely size creature, large, enormous spider that would have, for you in dark vision, it would look like clear striations in color, indicating that it definitely has some kind of weird pattern on the skin. We're gonna do Entangle and then Sacred Flame, because we're resolving our two held things that this is coming into vision for. So you're casting Entangle. I'm making a save. Like, what am I doing?
I think it's a strength save.
Strength save for me to attempt to break out, yeah?
So it's a 20-foot square.
Sure. Targeting the side of the wall.
It says from the ground.
Says from the ground?
I don't know how tall it is. I'm assuming it's just the ground.
I'd assume you could position it on a
But
surface.
like with that,
Like a cube?
What are cave walls?
it's not. I don't think it's a cube.
Sideways ground. Yeah.
Wall ground.
I've never attempted to cast
Side
Entangle on a wall before.
Does it like specify the ground?
It says, grasping weeds and vines sprout from the ground in a 20-foot square.
Starting from a point within range.
You could put it on a wall.
Yeah, the point
It's
within
literally
range.
that's just a descriptor. The actual rule statistic is a point within range. You could place it on a wall.
Yeah.
If that is the case, I would like to do that.
Good old sideways ground.
Well, I mean, roots would grow in walls. If the
It's also
implication of...
magic.
Yeah. But doesn't it, like, druid...
It's literally magic.
Sure.
if it didn't occur to me that it would be on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
My goal with readying that was to trap at least one spider
Mm-hmm.
in the entangle.
No. I totally understand. I mean, it's... Sage advice says no. Jeremy Crawford is also, like, kind of hit and miss, but the prevailing opinion is, like, ground is ground.
Mm-hmm.
Wall's not ground.
Wall's not ground.
Yeah, wall's not ground.
Tent's not a house.
Tents aren't houses.
Yeah.
Even indicating that,
logic.
like, from a point in range,
Mm-hmm.
if you specify, so, like, the way I am thinking to attempt to justify it, if you're going where I'm going, is if you're thinking this is ground, this is wall, you're targeting here for the point where you're targeting the spell. The vines aren't going to burst out that way.
It would just be...
They would burst out this
Yeah.
way,
And just grow up the wall.
growing up to fill this area.
So, if that's the case, Ritor, knowing how the spell works, would probably not pop that on that spider.
So, like, then the awkward
It's-
thing becomes, like, you specified the first spider you see.
Yeah.
Like, again, I don't like being rules lawyery. I really don't.
I just want to make
Like,
sure that,
My thought is I don't have an opposition to permitting it to grow sufficiently up to get the singular spider there, but it is going to sprout up 20 feet effectively to do so, like kind of forming almost a barricade where I would give you the full 20 by 20 cube, viewing it more as like square footage.
Like a wall kind of.
Yeah,
what
like
it is your call as the DM, however you want to rules that. I mean, if it just hits the ground, it just becomes difficult terrain, and I don't get the like it doesn't make a strength save. Like anything that goes through it, it would still be difficult terrain, and it
yeah,
would still
no,
slow
absolutely.
them down. But you only get it on that on whatever is in the area.
Yeah, no. Sincerely, I think that ground is ground. I think it would attempt to grow upwards. I genuinely was going to be generous into the 20 feet. That's me being kind of lenient. I think it would just turn the ground in that area in that 20 foot into difficult terrain.
Yep.
And I do not think it would actually catch the spider.
I don't know if there's any spiders behind it on the ground.
Absolutely. You have no idea. That is the first spider that you're seeing.
Because I'm casting it as far.
Yes.
Like I want to catch as many spiders as I can in this thing, but
Yeah, to attempt to obstruct it as much as absolutely
Yes.
possible. No, understood. Sacred Vine.
Yep. It's a cantrip, so I don't
Are you casting it?
burn out.
yeah,
Okay.
it was cast no matter what.
Well,
Yeah.
You do not burn out
Okay.
on cantrips now.
Okay,
the
it's a
slot
dex
is
save.
going no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to cast it, but you would lose the slot.
The spider makes a dex save. DC 16.
Natural one.
Nice.
Who's rolling on that crit table?
Right? Yeah, no, absolutely. Don, you want to roll for the crit?
Sure.
D20.
Come on, buddy.
13.
Oh, man. That's actually very helpful.
For you or me?
For you.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, so you are just capping whatever you would have rolled.
Oh, Pog.
So instead of like a cap and a roll, you're just capping the two.
Okay, so it's
And then it is frightened until the end of its next turn.
damn.
Yay.
Okay, so 32 radiant damage
Woo!
and it's frightened.
If it's frightened.
Yeah, no, it can't move towards you guys.
Like that.
Love that for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, this thing would crest the corner. Again, running along the wall, a large monstrosity. Entangle would pop, fill the ground underneath it with sprouting roots and vines as it breaks through the Sorry, I didn't describe the like soil of the ground. It's pretty compact, but it feels like clay. And then Sacred Flame would pop, and you would absolutely bathe this thing in radiant light. I would indicate that it absolutely looks like it is momentarily distracted by the presence of like, oh dear God, magical vines are sprouting forth from the ground. What the fuck is this? Startled, doesn't remotely think that a second spell is coming for being saved. And is washed over in radiant light and stops in its tracks because you interjected it into its movement phase. Interesting. I feel like this is ignorant but fair. You bathe this thing in in light, and then it absolutely, in an ethereal wisp, vanishes.
Oh God, they're blank spiders.
Yeah, like,
Oh,
I
God.
can't move towards you, but if I'm on a different plane,
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
there now,
Yeah.
because I'm
Is that
somewhere
Is
else.
that how blink works?
Yeah, face spiders.
God.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really feel like that
Uh-huh.
absolutely makes sense.
Who's next?
I'm not done my turn.
Okay.
That's just my bonus action. Yeah, I mean, front of the party is...
Felix and Yaluma, right?
No.
Whoa.
Front of the party. They're the back of the party.
Oh, sorry. I thought front of the
This-
party
Front of the
y'all
after
party
we...
two.
Yeah, front of the party is you two.
Well, after we flipped.
yes.
When
yeah.
we started walking back the other way,
Yes.
then the front
They
would
would
be...
be
Well,
going
back is
that
the
way,
front,
so
front
they
is
would
the
be
back.
the
It all
front.
depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Now we're business in the front, party in the back.
Hey yo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Mulligan or
have sufficient movement to get to you, but yeah, no, absolutely. I am indeed no longer visibly present. That would conclude my turn, and then we would go to either Lawrence or Glenn. I do not know who would like to go.
I got a thing.
That's good.
Got a plan.
Things
Don't
are
know
great.
how this works,
Okay.
but we're gonna go for it. This is my first time ever using this spell.
Okay.
Cry and pee my pants.
Yeah. So how does piss pants work? I'm going to, before I use my movement, I'm going to go ahead and, I will cast Sleep, targeting the opening. And any creatures there within that 20-foot radius.
Okay. Roll the dice total for sleep.
Because it's based on hit point
It's
value.
based on hit point value. And roll your burnout die.
5.
That transcends planes,
3.
right?
Sleep?
That'd be so insane.
Sleepy time, ethereal time.
That's where the Sandman
Go
is.
for the gray ones.
4.
Hey,
Ooh,
delicious.
a
ethereal
demi-plane of
chamomile.
sleep.
What? He
Sand
doesn't
gun.
exist here.
Okay.
No, he doesn't.
Quick maths.
Man, it's all hot.
18? Right? No plus anything? Yeah. Okay, so it's 18?
18 hit points total worth of sleeping.
Yeah. However that works. I
yeah,
don't know how the spell works.
I know that's how the spell works. I would indicate to you that there is nothing for you to determine whether or not you were successful.
Okay.
You would absolutely target that area. You rolled your burnout, you said? Good? Okay. Yeah, you absolutely, like, standing, see this large spider running across the wall in your direction. Ether bathed in light, and then it fucking disappears into nothingness, seemingly.
Okay.
And then you absolutely target the area of the opening for that tunnel, cast sleep, and you feel a magical energy leave yourself and wash over that area, ideally sleeping something.
Okay.
Or some things.
Who knows?
Anything else on your turn?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and. Would it be mean if it might be mean if I do that? I'm not gonna dash. That would be mean.
You do you, buddy.
Save yourselves.
That would be really fucked up, though.
I mean, look who you're leaving behind. No one would blame you.
Finally rid of him. It was only the one that came out, got hit with the flame, and disappeared.
Yes. Well, again, in a metaing sense, I've only taken one turn.
Thank God.
That one might have been a scout.
And I can hear other ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else other than just getting people to fucking move.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna start moving the direction that we were going. For my other action, I guess I might just use shove to get people to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can move through ally space that counts as difficult terrain. You can shove. Yalunlo is holding Sauriel. I mean, I would let you push both of them.
Yeah.
5 feet. So, I mean, again, we're obviously having to use each of those things as 10-foot things. So, they're 5 feet forward.
Yep.
You can't really end your space inside of someone else's space. So, you would end in the 5 foot that you pushed them out of.
Okay.
Cool.
Get the hurt lady out of here. Yeah.
She's hurt and tired.
Oh yeah, Thariel.
Right? Anything else for you, Glenn?
She's thick and tired. Nope.
Cool. It's a lot.
That's all I got. Thank you.
I would just spend my turn using my movement and carrying her and getting her further away.
Okay.
I guess she and I are in silence, so I'm not saying nothing. I would have noticed the flash of light when all that stuff went down, but I wouldn't have heard any of it.
Correct.
Right? Or would I hear it because it's not in the silence bubble?
Silence, you can't perceive anything coming through at all.
You can't hear noise that's made outside.
No, you're
coming
effectively
in
deafened
and-
while you're inside of silence.
Okay.
Yeah. That's also why you're immune to thunder damage.
Anyways, there was a flashlight, so I would have turned around. I would have seen thing. Instead of moving to go further into the dungeon, I'd back up to be in the way of it. Anything heading back towards the people that we're in front of.
Okay.
So, however much movement with carrying her, I probably would have had my sword out already, so I guess I'd use my action to dash to get as much movement as I can out of this turn.
Yeah, I would say she would affect you by a 10-foot penalty to your movement speed.
So I can move 40?
Yep.
You're fast.
So, like, around here?
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'm carrying her, so she's probably behind me.
Piggybacking, kind of. Okay. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, next we come to me again. So I would tell you that around that corner, you guys who are at the front of the party would absolutely see another one of the very large, monstrous things. Unfortunately, 18 hit points is not sufficient to be able to turn it to sleep. But you would see another one of these run almost into the exact same spot as the previous one did. Hit that spot, and then pause. Like, again, we're aware that spiders have eyes. It would pause.
Are they eyeless spiders?
Like,
Ron?
almost with a sense of not confusion, but like, for anybody that's ever like entered into a new space and then taken a moment briefly to assess a situation and then make a decision instead of just impulsively running in,
I've never done that.
it hits this spot and it stops, and you watch as its legs kind of like dig ever so slightly into the surface of the stone around it. Not breaking it, but just like it's feeling. Like it's sensing.
Oh no.
And then instead of darting towards you, you see it ever so swiftly
God fucking damn it.
chitter and dash upwards towards the height of the ceiling. And then I would say that as it gets up towards another 10-ish feet in height along the height of the walls here, it would absolutely as well vanish in a puff of ethereal smoke.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be covered in a spider blanket. I'm just gonna be like, so many spiders.
In there.
Oh.
There have to be spiders.
How far behind us was the group?
You said 100 to 200 feet.
Yeah, yeah. Like 200 feet.
Like,
Can someone message them and tell them to stop?
A reasonable amount, but you guys have run back like 50 feet, so now like 150. But,
Friends, thank you very much for watching tonight. It's gonna be great.
Spiders.
You love spiders, dude.
Love them
They're
so
your
much.
favorite.
They're really.
I really
just-
enjoy horror situations with vanishing spiders that can absolutely appear.
See, that's the
with-
worst part is because there was a big spider in our bathroom and it vanished. I don't
It
know
sure
where it
did.
is. I don't know where
It could
is.
be worse. It could be vanishing bears.
Could
Ooh.
be. Just wait.
What do you think Quagmires are?
Spider bears, yeah,
Spider
get out of my
bears.
head.
But
Bear
yeah,
spiders.
thank you guys very much for watching tonight. We'll be back on Friday for the Lost Kings of Edoras, and then next Monday for the City of Oshuamp. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
Good night.